This podcast is sponsored by nobody.
Hey everybody, this is Claudia Wells, the original Jennifer Parker in Back to the Future, and you're listening to Tommy Throwback Kovac on Splat from the Past. That's good advice, Tommy.
Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the totally radical 5th anniversary party.
On Splat from the Past. We're gonna get you.
The whole world is celebrating. The whole world is celebrating night. Yes, the whole world is celebrating, and I am your host, Tommy Throwback Kovac. What can I say about this anniversary? I did my first interview ever on May 15th, 2017. It was Diane Franklin. I am just astounded at how kind, wonderful, and just all around congenial Diane was. And I did not know she would end up being a guest 8 times. I can't believe at how considerate she was, considering the fact that I was the worst interviewer in the world the first time we talked. But thank God I got better and better as time went on. You know, at that time, I was starting to present myself on camera, and then I would play a pre-recorded interview on a dictation recorder. That lasted 24 episodes, and I'm so fucking embarrassed by that. But you gotta start somewhere, right? Not long after that, I started using my iPhone to record, and then I went strictly from being a horror sci-fi podcast to a variety podcast. You know, about old Hollywood, cult films, classic rock music, sex, friendship, the journey. And here I am today, 1,512 episodes later. I'm still here, and I have many to thank. My family, my creator, my friends, my listeners, and above all, my guests. The people who allow me to interview them about their careers and tell them sex jokes at the end. I am just so grateful for you all. So it's time to give a shout out to a few guests who couldn't contribute to today's show for various reasons. First is Lar Park Lincoln, 4-time guest. You all know her as Tina in Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. Unfortunately, Lar lost her voice and was very ill. She could not do a short conversation with me for this show. And she couldn't even write me a quote. She was that sick. But she's okay now. She did some kind of an event last night. You know, this was like 3 weeks ago that she just couldn't find time. But she's one of my favorite guests in the horror genre. So I want to say I love you, Lar. Thank you for the 4 times you've been on. And hopefully we'll get to talk a 5th sometime this year. And then my Bay Area friend, Tiffany Vickers, who's not in show business, but she is body and dark. I just love her and adore her. She's got a lot going on with work and family, and I couldn't get a quote or a conversation from her either. And I just want to say, I love you too, Tiff. You are fucking awesome. So now I'm going to read many praise quotes I got from guests, many of which could not do a short conversation with me for scheduling reasons, and some that I just didn't have time for or room for to do short conversations with, but I appreciate them so much. So let's see here. Jennifer Rubin, 2-time guest, says, Tommy's interviews are my favorite because he asks questions fans don't know the answer and adds to the horror sci-fi action history. Congrats, Tommy. 5 years of the best podcast. Aw, thanks, Jennifer. Love you, my Terran. Tracy Shaffer, a 2-time guest, writes, I love talking to Tommy Kovac and Splat from the Past. He always shows up so prepared and remembers work that I forgot I'd even done. He's so full of love and humor and gets me to say things I'd never tell a soul. Aww. Claudia Wells, a 2-time guest, to the show says, Tommy was an absolute pleasure to do an interview, and he is as nice as can be, and he came to my store with his mother. It was pure joy. Congratulations, Tommy, on your anniversary, and I hope much success for you. God bless you. Aww. Tommy Kovac, okay, Cynthia Levin, a two-time guest of the show, writes, Tommy Kovac is a true fan of artists and the arts. Having great love and respect for fellow performers, he has interviewed and supported more people than I can count. I am so grateful to have been one of them. Happy 5th anniversary, Tommy. Love, Cynthia. Oh. Lydia Cornell, a one-time guest of the show, writes, I loved Tommy Kovac. He is one of the best interviews I've ever done. He has a natural passion and in-depth knowledge for what he does, and he is fascinated by his subjects. Oh. Heidi Holicker, a two-time guest of the show, writes, Happy 5th anniversary, Splat from the Past. I've always enjoyed my segments on your show. You never know what Tommy may ask, but it's always fun and intriguing. Look forward to the next time. Aww. Don Jeffrey Nelson, a one-time guest of the show, but has gotten me many of her friends in the industry, writes, Imagine my surprise when the Tommy Kovac asked me to be an interviewee for one of his podcasts. I was both honored and delighted. His research is outstanding. His questions are intelligent and insightful, not the usual what everybody else asks me questions. He has a wicked sense of humor and a bedside manner that immediately puts you at ease. He placed me among so many amazing people that he has interviewed. I am forever grateful. I adore this man. Oh. Jordana Capra, a two-time guest of the show, writes, Tommy is that rare beast, a triple threat in his own right. And by that I mean he's smart, he has an amazing memory, he's funny, he's able to find humor in the weirdest topics and ideas and enjoys sharing that humorous take with his audience, and he has a big heart. The trials and tribulations of his life made him a tender and gentle man. Aww. Lisa Perez, a one-time guest of the show, writes, I can honestly say that Tommy is one of the funniest people I know. He has a warped sense of humor, and I love it. Aww. Karen Lee Hopkins, a one-time guest of the show, writes, It is a truly rare experience to meet someone as passionate and buoyant as Tommy Kovac. Someone deeply authentic who truly cares about what he's asking you and whose knowledge of film gives credence to walk the talk. Speaking to him about my career made me feel like I was talking with someone who knows my work and who cares about it in a way that is enlightening. He frankly had a better perspective than I do. I wish him many more years of creating content, and as we need more people like you, not just in the business, but on the planet. Oh. Heather Taylor, a three-time guest of the show, writes, Tommy's always hilarious, caring, and an all-around good guy. Aww. Kathleen Kinmont, I think 5 or 6 time guest, I haven't really kept count of the show, writes, I like Tommy Kovac because he cares about his interviews and he does the necessary homework on his subject. Interviews are only interesting when someone is interested and gives a shit, which I believe Tommy gives too. He's also pretty funny, which goes a long way. Aww. Beatrice Boepple, a 2-time guest of the show, writes, I'm writing to congratulate Tommy Kovac on the 5th year of Splat from the Past. 5 years. Tommy has been giving us such interesting and thoughtful interviews with a very impressive list of guests. I've had the pleasure of talking on the show not once but twice already, and both times were a real pleasure. Tommy is easy to talk to. We both chatted. We both could have chatted all night. For all our sakes, I hope Splat from the Past will be around, informing and entertaining us for years to come. Happy 5 years, Tommy. Aww. Kathy Graf, a 3-time guest of the show, writes, Tommy is fun to talk to. He's fun to visit with. He tells good jokes, and groaners too. He lets me tune in and visit old friends and hear what they're doing now. Splat from the Past helps me appreciate my chosen vocation. marvel at many artists he knows, and most importantly, it gives me a happy skip down memory lane. Aww. Ivonna Cadaver, a two-time guest of the show, writes, "It was a real treat to be on Tommy's podcast. He has a unique style, which makes for a fun and exclusive interview. Butch Patrick, aka Eddie Munster, and myself wish him an amazing 5th anniversary podcast. Great job, Tommy." Aww. And I thought Butch didn't like me. Barbara Bingham, a two-time guest of the show, writes, "I had a blast on Tommy's podcast." Rutanya Alda, a four-time guest of the show, writes, "Dear Tommy, I so very enjoyed being on your podcast. Thank you for having me. You let me talk and your questions were spot on, and you also allowed for spontaneity. It was a lot of fun, Tommy. Congratulations on your 5th anniversary podcast. May you have many more." Aww. Leanne Kreischer, a three-time guest, writes, "Tommy, congratulations on 5 years of podcasting. Wow, what an amazing accomplishment. I love our chats together. You're such a real and genuine person, an excellent listener, and you always have great things to say. I am so proud of you and so happy for this amazing accomplishment. Can't wait for the next 5 years. Congratulations." Aww. And Stephanie Hodge, a 6 or 7 time. Yeah, I need to stop doing that 6 or 7 time. I need to know the exact number. A many time guest of the show, Stephanie Hodge, writes me, "Ask me about Tommy and I'll tell you honest to God truth. I don't have any idea when, where, or how I met him. Seems like Tommy has always been here in my life, making me laugh, talking about things honestly, what we're here to talk about. Comedy, horror, sex, politics, food, our health, our pasts, our hopes, our futures. It's all open and honest with no judgment. Just like Tommy, the man's been through more than anyone else I know. He has come out of it all, not just a survivor, but a mentor in how to get through the worst things without losing yourself or your hope. He is the best example of how to rise and do so to become wiser and more determined. He's funny as hell, he's genuine, real, and he isn't going to blow smoke. He is kind and patient and listens when some old woman who trusts and loves him vomits all her angst all over him. He tells you the truth and calls you on your shit when you need it. He is wise, he is a good man, he is determined and persistent. He deserves more than he's been given, and he's going to go further than most of us do. He is an inspiration. He's also the only guy I know who can shock me. I enjoy it. I love the guy. I trust the guy. He's a feminist, an equalist. He cares about folks. A woman is safe knowing him, and that is huge. Like his talent and his heart." Thank you, Steph. Thank you so much. I love you too. Thank you. Okay, so let's get to the short conversations. So during the whole month of April, me and some, and also in May too, I talked with over 30 of my favorite frequent guests of the show. Some that have been with me since the very beginning, some met me halfway. I gotta warn you, a lot of these conversations were like 30 to 40 minutes, and I had to edit a bunch of them down, of course, for 10, 15, or 20 minutes for the allowed running time, but they're all entertaining. And I also have to bring up they're a little repetitive. We addressed my recent diagnosis of type 2 diabetes, which I did edit out of some conversations just for time, but it's addressed in a lot of these. Also, I tell everyone the same joke, except for maybe one person, I think. And we talk about their new projects or just any random shit. Fun. I wanted these shows to be fun and not sad, these conversations. So let's kick this off with Katie Barberi, Tangerine in the Garbage Pail Kids movie. I am starting with her because she pretty much summed me up in a nutshell. I was just so enchanted by the conversation we had and the way it started that I had to make it the first one. So, enjoy! Hey, Katie, what's up?
How you doing?
Well, I made it 5 years.
5 years on the 5 years doing the show, 5 years sober, 5 years without painting your toenails rainbow colors. 5 years what?
7 years sober. It's been probably about 6 months since I painted my toenails, and it's 5 years of the podcast.
That is fantastic. I am so proud of you. Of course, we're doing this interview for the anniversary. Yes, I get it. I am thrilled for you, and Marie Cheatham said something so true about you, is that you're very enterprising, and that you literally created something out of nothing.
Yes.
And that is, you are to be very commended by that, and you've been a little bit controversial, but honestly, I think everybody really likes you a lot. You've had some tremendous cojones to get out there and find people and hit people up, and I think that predominantly what you've heard is a resounding yes from everyone. And as your podcast grows, and as more of us talk to you, well, that gives other people the opportunity to say, okay, well, I'll go ahead and accept this offer and have a conversation with Tommy. And I think speaking for the great majority, everybody has had an amazing time. So many congratulations.
Oh.
And may there be so many more years. May you have many more anniversaries, but also may this podcast grow, and may it turn into something else. Who knows? Maybe you'll be doing a video podcast. Maybe, I don't know. I think there's an infinite amount of possibilities. We're all in love with, the projects that we grew up with, and they helped to form us. And I think that you really honed in on something. Splat from the past is really important for many generations. And if there are people that weren't alive during the time of, the shows that you, the people that you interviewed, then they heard about it from their parents, so it's really relevant on a lot of levels, and I'm really proud of you. I just want you to know that.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, it's funny that you brought Marie up, because that's right. She did tell me I took something and turned it. I took nothing and turned it into something. I was trying to think. I was trying to think who said that to me too, and then you just reminded me it was Marie. Okay, perfect.
It was Marie Cheatham. I listened to that interview, and she said you're very enterprising. You took nothing and turned it into something. You made something out of nothing, and that's incredible. So many of us, fortunately, and I thank God for this every day, or I try to every day. Thank God in the universe for this every day. I don't have to count myself amongst the people that the artists, the actors, the entrepreneurs of their own lives and their own art and their own talent and their own destinies, who many years ago stopped hearing from reporters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I got involved in a different area, a different genre of the industry, which was the telenovela industry, and then I did the Nickelodeon show, a series of things. So I have remained on some level, or on many levels, relevant, and I'm very grateful to be in that position. But so many of us stopped hearing from reporters a long time ago, and stopped hearing from hosts of shows in any genre a long time ago. And what you do isn't just cool for the listeners, it's also cool for the artists to get a phone call and say, hey, I want to talk to you about this role that you did in this and such show or this and such movie. And they're like, what? And you're like, yup, I want to talk to you about it. And guess what? People want to hear it. So that makes, I'm going to cry.
Oh.
Respect you. That makes us feel really good, Tommy. There's people, with huge dreams, who for whatever reason it just didn't work out, and they were left with that desire, or at best with those lovely memories.
Right.
And who went on and did other things with their lives, or quote unquote got a real job, or whatever it was. But it's nice to hear from someone
who has a fan base and who is doing interesting stuff and whose repertoire and resume of the people you've interviewed just continues to get crazier and crazier and crazier. And now you've interviewed legends, dude. You've interviewed Ed Asner. You've interviewed Marie Cheatham. I mean, you've interviewed people that we grew up admiring. And to then be an artist who hasn't worked in a really long time or hasn't gotten a phone call in a really long time and have you say to them, hey, I want to talk to you about this role. I want to talk to you about this project. Like, you don't know what you're doing for them. So thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. Yeah, I mean, I know that, I'm helping them stay relevant, get their word out there and stuff. I'm just one of many.
No, just to get the freaking phone call, man.
Yeah.
It must be really not. I have never stopped getting those phone calls. And again, I thank God every day, but I know so many people who have. And it's huge that you do that because it's just as important for the artist as it is for the listeners. And I wanted to say that to you. And maybe today is the appropriate day to say that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, tomorrow, 1500th interview. I'm not counting these anniversary ones, but as far as, new ones, yeah, tomorrow will be the 1500th. And, we did our first interview on May 16th, 2019, and I remember I tried to get in touch with you in 2017, but the message must have went to your spam filter.
Did you go through my Facebook or my Messenger or whatever?
It was your regular Facebook Messenger, yeah.
Sometimes it's horrifying to me. Like, I'll go in there. I don't have a lot of time, obviously. Instagram has been a little bit more helpful.
Yeah.
Because Instagram, you'll see the message kind of in real time. I don't know, it just works differently.
Yeah.
But when I go into my spam and I see the amount of people that have been trying to contact me, it feels awful, and I feel terrible for the amount of people that have tried to contact me, and with really good offers as well. I mean, I've lost some opportunities as well. Not being able to hear them all the time or to see them all the time. But there's times when I can't even get over to my spam. So yeah, it's crazy.
Well, I was brand new. I was brand new to Instagram, so I didn't know how to work it at that time, so it wouldn't have even occurred to me. But I remember this was just pre-pandemic. I thought that I was going to retire the podcast that summer because I was going to be making that move to LA and staying with that crazy girl for a few months, and I had all these plans and what have you, But I loved the conversation that we had, and you were everything that I hoped you would be. You were so intelligent, such a great storyteller. And then we did our second. Then we did our second one on April 22nd, 2020, and we talked for over 90 minutes late at night, I remember.
We sure did, yeah. That was a fun conversation.
That was,
We covered a lot.
Yeah, we did. And not long, about a few months after that is when I started using my new recorder, which is what I'm using now. My transistor radio sound is gone now. Now you can actually hear the voices clearer now. Yeah.
I'd say that's true. That's great.
Yeah.
And keep investing in it and keep believing in it, Tommy, and you're gonna get an interesting offer, a weird phone call there coming up. I can just feel it. And because what you've done is really remarkable. I mean, a lot of people that haven't heard from from someone like you in a long time, but also people that have, legendary people, and you're kind of running the gamut now, and you're going to get the right person's attention coming up here. I know you are.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm just...
Stick with it.
I'm getting just miracles, I'm getting close to getting one of the Go-Go's on the podcast. I'm a huge Go-Go's fan.
Oh my God, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, that's just an example of someone I really want to get. I thought it was crazy that our conversation about Not Quite Human 2 ended up on IMDb.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, don't you remember? I screenshot and shared the anecdote.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right, it did. Oh, that's crazy.
I thought that was very crazy.
I mean, it's crazy, but as time moves forward, it just what you've done is make something, just like Marie said, something out of nothing. And as you make something out of nothing, it becomes, more and more legit until all of a sudden it just is. And, people know about it. And it actually doesn't seem weird anymore. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I cherish, a lot of the great friendships I've made from it too, especially you, because I'll tell you, when I was 5, 2 things excited me. Susanna Hoffs in the Walk Like an Egyptian video and Tangerine in the Garbage Pail Kids.
I hear that sometimes.
Yes. Well, I'm not alone. I mean, even Ron and I talked about that, when he and I talked.
Ron McLaughlin?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. He's a sweetheart. He was such a gentleman and so kind to me. And I was so young and people didn't know, So he was very sweet. He was a wonderful co-star to have, Ron.
Yeah, I didn't even know that he was replacing Billy Zabka.
I didn't know he was replacing Billy. What, on GPK?
Yeah, because...
I didn't know Billy had booked it. I've known Billy for a really long time.
Yeah, because, let's see, Atlantic wanted to work with him, and so they pitched him Garbage Pail Kids or A Tiger's Tale with C. Thomas Howell, and he chose A Tiger's Tale because he wasn't playing a bully for once.
I get it. I totally get it. And so Ron came in and replaced Billy. I see.
Yeah.
I see. Aha. Well, as far as I know, I was legitimately the first choice for Tangerine. So good or bad, that is the reality. And I mean, it got so severely panned and everything, but it also has a fantastic fan base. And as you go along in this career, you find that that's kind of what's most important, to make people happy. Did people enjoy it? Were they entertained by it? Did they remember it? Is it a part of their, the repertoire of their youth? Well, then, awesome. Then our jobs are done here,
Oh, yeah, I love it. I just talked to Kevin, a month ago.
I know. Oh, I love him so much. He's an amazing guy, isn't he?
He is a very amazing guy,
and
yeah.
Kevin is one of the original Ewoks.
Yeah.
Kevin worked alongside Carrie, and alongside Harrison, and alongside Mark, and
Yep.
Are you kidding me with that?
Yep.
No? That's legendary stuff, isn't it?
He is, yeah, he's a legend. I tried to get Phil on last October. He's been super busy. His wife and I are coordinating it. Hopefully I'll get him this year.
Oh, he's awesome. He's awesome. Phil was very helpful on the shoot. Phil Fondacaro.
Yeah.
He was very, very, very helpful on the shoot. He was the one responsible for herding cats.
Yeah.
He was the coordinator for the little people, for the Garbage Pail Kids, and he did a great job.
Yeah, I liked meeting him at Monsterpalooza a couple years ago. He was great.
Yeah, and Kevin just started doing this voice of Alligator. He just started doing that on the set, and they were just so happy with it that they let him then do the VO and have it be his voice and stuff. So he did a great job. He was and such a lovely guy. They were all so sweet to me. They really were.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, how are things on the career front?
Well, I am just having the time of my life, Tommy Kovac. I am on location in South Carolina rehearsing In the Heights, and we open on May 4th, and that is like the greatest news that I could kind of ever give you, because that's always been the dream.
It's
a weird path that I have taken, but really, what I've always wanted to do is Broadway, and that's it. I through this entire process of my life, from my early 20s on, I started doing theater when I was really young, and I actually became an actress because for 2 reasons. One was when I was 5, and the other was when I was 9.
Yeah.
When I was 5, I watched my mom, because my mom was a singer-actress, and did a lot of stage. And she didn't speak a lot of Spanish, but it didn't matter for one of the chorus in The Sound of Music in Mexico City. It was called La Novicia Rebelde in Spanish. And so she played one of the party goers and she played one of the nuns, and she just learned it phonetically. And I was 5, and at the time I could see these 2 little girls on stage playing Gretel, alternating the part of Gretel, and I was like, why are they up there and I'm down here? And that was my first taste of it. And then again, when I was 9, and my mom and I were in Reno, and she took me to see the road show of Annie. And again, I was like, wait, why are they up there and I'm down here?
Yeah.
So my love for the theater and for musicals and for that, it was just my whole passion for that goes back to my very, very young childhood. And as I got older and into my early 20s, my late 20s, and whatever, 30s, I did a lot of theater in Mexico. I did I Love You, You're Perfect Now, Change in Spanish, and I did the rock opera Dracula, and I did Equus on tour for a while. That was more of a dramatic play.
Yeah.
But I loved doing musicals. I was very challenged by musicals. I'm a mezzo-soprano with a soprano extension, which means I can actually take the higher notes, and that's something that's not very well known about me, is that I actually am very passionate about singing, and I have studied my whole life. And I started singing at the Nevada Opera when I was in the children's chorus of the Nevada Opera when I was a kid. I was, after I saw Annie, my mom was like, well, where do I funnel this passion into? So she put me into the Nevada Opera, and I started working with Susan Frank, who was this brilliant opera singer there at the Nevada Opera under the direction of Ted Buffer, who was the director and who was a legend in the opera world. And I started really working with her, and it looked like at some point I was going to go into opera, but I didn't feel that there was enough, frankly, acting in it. I just didn't. I mean, there was a lot of singing and a lot of technical work with singing, but I wanted to be an actress. That's what I really wanted. That was the dream. So as I got into my 20s and 30s, what I would do is take the money from the telenovelas that I was doing or whatever I was doing, and I'd go to New York and just see theater for a week, just by myself. Like, that was my idea of an ideal vacation, was just to see these artists that I admire so much, that do 6 to 8 shows a week, that you don't get a second take, that can go from acting into song and then back into the performance as actors, at a moment's notice, that are triple threats that can do all of this. And I just finally said, in June of last year, part of it was to stay sane. I just started, because we were still just straight up in the pandemic and everything shut down.
Right.
And I'm a member of Actors Equity, which is the theater union for actors in the United States. And so on the Equity website, you can audition for different projects. They'll tell you where the projects are happening, and you can audition. And they started having to do video-only auditions last year, and I just started submitting, and I sang some songs, and I did some monologues, and I just started submitting. And then in January of this year, I got a call from this company to attend final callbacks in New York for In the Heights, Manuel Miranda's In the Heights, which is a personal goal of mine to work with that gentleman. I think it's brilliant. And I was over the moon just at the callback in New York on Broadway. I mean, just that would have been enough. But then I got the offer to do the role of Camila Rosario, and I was in the car at the time with my fiance, whose right ear will never be the same, because I just worked his eardrum with the screams. I was so thrilled. And so now we've been in rehearsals for 2 weeks. I'm working with the most amazing cast, and just every day I'm so inspired by their artistry. I'm so challenged by it, and I'm so grateful to be a part of this. And may it be the beginning of wonderful experiences for me in this genre. That's what I wish for every day, and I ask for every day, and I decree every day, because I just feel so fulfilled as an artist, and I'm having the best time.
I am so proud of you, really.
Thank you.
I mean, forget about me. Look at you. I mean, you are just doing something so friggin' amazing. I am so proud of you, and I always knew that you would make it.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, this definitely opened up a new door for me, and I'm just going to keep walking through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just keep going. and keep doing it because it makes me so happy.
I wish last October we would have been able to meet up, but I ended up not going to LA that week. Hopefully in the future, depending on what your schedule is going to be with this play, we'll get to see each other.
Oh, that would be wonderful, my dear. I would love that. And so many, many congratulations to you. And thank you for thinking of me for the anniversary show. You always think of me, and I think it's so sweet. Thank you. And I'm honored.
Absolutely. And I have a joke for you.
Let's stop it. Let's hear it.
What do you call a boy that doesn't masturbate?
A rarity.
A liar. Close.
I was close.
Yeah.
I was close.
Yeah,
Very close.
I've heard everything from like no fun to a girl, just all these different versions.
Wow. No, I think I'm pretty close to what the punchline was. That's cute. Pretty cute and harmless.
Thank you, hon.
All right, my dear. Well, I wish you every joy and success with this anniversary show, and I can't wait to hear it.
Yes, it'll be out May 15th, and
Awesome.
Again, thank you for always being a supportive friend and guest, and just stay safe out there.
Oh, I will. Thank you so much, my dear. I'm taking great precautions so that I can make it on the stage and hopefully entertain and give a fine performance. So thank you for that.
Please do,
Love you.
because they need to be sparkled with those sparkling eyes of yours.
Aw, thank you.
You're welcome.
You will, my dear. Take care of yourself and congratulations.
Thank you, hon. Night, night.
Thanks. Good night.
Good night.
Hello.
Terry, what's up?
I'm Tommy. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, my God, I made it 5 years
5 years. What?
of Splat from the Past.
That's amazing. Good
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah,
You're up to what? 1,500?
1,502.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. We did our first interview on April 26, 2018, and I remember I was researching Diane Salinger a few nights before. I was watching Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and I ended up talking to both of you on the same day because I saw you, and I was like, oh, shit, I forgot all about her. The girl in the lounge in Oh God Book 2, who's one of the biker girls in this. Yeah. Oh, my God. And I remember looking you up in 2002, almost 20 years ago. I can't believe it's been that long. And going, God, I hope she's still alive. I hope she's not one of those actresses who died of a drug overdose, because you never know. Your age was not on IMDb, so I didn't know if you were alive or not. But I thank God that
I'm still here.
Yeah. I thank God I found you, that you're still alive. Yeah.
Tommy, my fan for 20 years.
Oh, more than that, but just, the fact that IMDb was brand new at the time, and I was able to look up who you were. Yeah.
Oh, thank God I had this friend. I haven't heard from him now. He was a Facebook friend, but he did that for me. I had no idea, how to do it, and he put that up for me. So that was really, really nice. Not everything's on there, but, I don't care. At least something's there,
Yeah. And, and we connected from the get-go, and you've been one of the best friends that I've ever had, I kind of know the answer to this, but after 7 interviews, what is it that keeps you coming back?
Keeps me coming back? What, to talk to you?
Yeah.
Well, I always enjoy talking to you. Like I told you before, I had a friend I used to discuss movies with all the time, and he knew everything and saw everything, and we always have great conversations, and I just don't know that many people that I can talk to about movies with, and in depth, and actors and directors and stuff they've done before, and blah blah blah. And I really love it. I really enjoy it, because I love being a student of everyone's work. And my friend used to make lists of everything, before computers, of everything that directors did and everything that actors were in. and he was an encyclopedic reference for the Academy Awards, and so we just always loved talking about movies. So I guess I find that kinship in you, the just love of the business and actors and directors, artists, and their work, their bodies of work. So I find that really fascinating. Plus, you're just a really nice, cool guy.
Oh, I'm so speechless, Terry. Thank you. Yeah, we've got this wonderful simpatico, and I've been thinking about this an awful lot. We both have lost a lot of family members, yet we've been so lucky to experience many amazing things in our lives. It's like we're the chosen ones, and it was meant to be like this.
Well, I always felt like my life was like the comedy drama Masks. There's been a lot of heartbreak and tragedy, but I've always had a really good time too in between it all. I made sure I did, because I always thought that fun was very important. And maybe that's why I never became a big star, because I was always busy having too much fun, not working hard enough. But that's okay. Be that as it may. I'm here now, and I'm happy with what I did. I'm glad I got to participate in it all. Be a part of it all.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you also saw, the bullshit of the business too. Like, I told my mother, when the Academy Awards was going on, about how you went to the Academy Awards that one year and it just was a disappointment for you and stuff, and it always serves as a great lesson as to how, things are not what they appear to be.
I remember my uncle, who was a singer. He was in the first edition, and he kind of told me something once a long time ago. He goes, once you get to a certain level, it's like you have to keep it going. People are depending on you, and I've seen and heard from other people that it's not all it's cracked up to be, and there's a downside. And look at Jim Carrey, he's retiring, and other people have left the business, and a lot of people are just kind of grow a little weary of it all, and there's a lot of people that they used to work all the time, haven't seen them, wonder where they are. Sometimes people just step away, and because it is difficult and hard and all that, and it's not all it's cracked up to be, and fame and fortune, that's all. It sounds all great and everything, but I'll never forget one time I was working as a stand-in for Mackenzie Aston, Patty Duke's little boy.
Yeah.
I did a lot of standing in for children because I'm short.
We know.
Anyway, we were doing an outside family football scene, and it started raining. And for a while, we were filming in the rain because you can't really see it until it started really pouring. Then you realize everybody's getting really wet. So we all had to, run to the trailers and just wait it out. So I'm sitting there, kind of drenched with Patty Duke and her son, and we're sitting there looking glumly out the pouring rain, out the honey wagon door. And she says to him, "See, Mac, it's not all autographs and sunglasses."
Was that on The Facts of Life?
I think it was a TV movie.
No.
And he was just a kid. Like 10, 11, 12, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was.
I'll never forget that. It was just such a great quote from her. It's like, gotta remember this one.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, he was in he was the star of the Garbage Pail Kids movie, and the girl that he had a crush on in the movie was his girlfriend in real life, and she's a close friend of mine. We did a anniversary conversation the other day, and she just gave me this long, wonderful, 3-minute intro of what she loves about me that just rendered me speechless.
My goodness.
I think I'm gonna make that the first one that I put on the video, the first one, because it pretty much summed up me in a nutshell.
What's her name?
Her name is Katie Barberi.
I think I saw you posting that.
Yeah, she's 50. She's so gorgeous. She's when she was 15 when she did that movie, and I was 5, and I had a huge crush on her. She's just a wonderful person too.
Oh, well, let me add to that, Tommy. You're a wonderful interviewer. You're always prepared. You always have good questions. You're always thoughtful and probing. I said probing. And, well prepared, and you put your guests at ease. And so it's always great to talk to you.
Oh. Oh, yes. I mean, I even gotten praise from Victor Mature's daughter. She heard my interview with Anthony Quinn's widow, and she just thinks I'm wonderful, And it's funny. She doesn't want. She gets asked all the time to do podcasts, and she's terrified of doing it, right? But she told me that if she ever gets confidence to just give it a try, I'll be the first one whose podcast she'll go on.
Oh, yeah, not everybody is comfortable talking about themselves, but you make it easy, yeah.
Yeah, to do a tribute to her father, because he was.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Because he was one of the greats, yeah. So, is there anything new? Have you gotten a part-time job or anything?
No, not yet. I mean, I probably will, because I'm not getting unemployment anymore, and they're not any more extensions. So, I'll just have to think about it for a while, because I've been used to being home so much that it's gotten to the point where I like being home. Well, I always did like being home, but maybe I've gotten a little more agoraphobic. I don't want to go out quite as much as I used to, and when I do go out, it's like, oh my God, the sensory overload. It's just like the sights, the sounds, people everywhere. I'm nervous driving. It's just this has changed me. This whole lockdown thing, has changed me, and but it's given me time to be, I don't know, introspective, reflective. But I also think that I became an old lady.
A what?
I became an old lady.
Oh.
I'm always home in my house coat.
but you're still eternally young, though. I mean, you are. So is your aunt too. She's also eternally young.
Well, everybody was posting their old headshots on Facebook this week.
Yeah.
And I found one. It's not that old, but then I realized, it's pretty old. It's 30 years old, and everybody says, "Oh my God, you look just the same. When was this taken? Yesterday?"
Yeah.
No, it was 30 years. I was 40 years old.
I know. I posted 2 elementary school pictures because
they're so cute.
It's funny. I should have, when I was in my 20s, I should have just bitten the bullet and took some headshots, right? But I've always been a nonconformist in that, I didn't want to do that, but I kind of regret it now. And I was going to get headshots done 2 years ago until the pandemic happened, and then I started putting on weight again, which led to my diabetes diagnosis recently. But yeah, I posted 2 really cute pictures of me in elementary school that oh my God, I get more responses from the girls than I do from the guys. But I'll tell you, if I do get responses from the guys, it's guys that I don't know. I was like, okay, now I know who the pedophiles are.
Oh God. Oh, that's funny.
Do you miss Dearly Departed though?
So much. I really do. That was like the perfect thing for me. And it's funny because I was in kind of a similar situation than I am now. I had lost my job. Everything, I didn't qualify for unemployment. And I had no income. I was like, what am I going to do? And I was going to these counseling things for the city and through the city and through SAG and, the programs and, lectures and things, how to write a resume and all that. And, telling you have to make a completely new resume for each job submission so it can be real specific to that job. It's like, oh my God. It's like looking for a job is a full-time job. And finally, I was getting a little desperate, and I said to one of the counselors, I said, I just don't think I'm going to find a job in a few months. This was 5 or 6 years ago now. Yeah. And the job market was really tough. And she goes, she takes this big sigh, and she goes, it's really, really tough out there. And she said, I can see with the type of skills you have, and I don't have a degree, I don't have real good computer skills or whatever. It's like I'm a people person. So she goes, I can see you getting a job through someone you know. And that's exactly what happened. And I had known Scott because we were belonged to a tour guide group, and I just went and asked if he needed any help, and he started calling me in on occasion. And before you know it, it became a 3-day permanent thing, and he kept giving me raises. And before you know it, I was in charge of the place, and I loved it. And talking with so many people from all over the world, and it was such a unique place. I thought it was such an interesting addition to the culture life of Los Angeles. You know, the interesting kind of museum and the tours, and I really got to express myself there because I was doing displays and showcase displays and helping him curate the items in the museum, and so I was really contributing to it, and he trusted me, and he liked my ideas, and it was a really great time, and I made a lot of friends, and so then with COVID it all went away, and it's not coming back. I mean, he might open a museum again at some point, but
he should.
It just ended so abruptly. So it was really a loss for me. And I do miss it very much. It was a happy time.
I just regret not going on that bus tour, while we could. But when me and Rudy plan on going to L.A. soon, I don't know when. His mother just passed away, and he's up in Florida right now. He's going to be coming home soon and staying over here for at least a weekend. We're going to make plans. I want to go during a weekend where Pamela DeBar is doing her rock tour on a Sunday. And I just want to go see, Frank Zappa's house and, know the inside secrets of the rock clubs and all of that stuff, because she's been losing a lot of her groupie friends. Like, she just lost Cynthia Plastercaster, and
I got to meet her one time. I was taking Pamela's writing class, and she invited Cynthia to the class, and she brought some of her art objects.
Yeah. I love it. God, I just love it. No shame. I love it. I was Facebook friends with her for 5 years, and I remember when I first started the podcast, I asked her if she'd come on, and she's like, I so much appreciate that you love my work, but it's not a good time, Tommy. And I was like, all right. And I never asked her again because I got busy with so many other people. And then earlier this year, I was kind of contemplating it again, but then she passed away, unfortunately. But she's lost her. She's lost Mercy from the GTOs, and so I want to go check out this tour. You never know how long she's going to last. Which is sad to say because they were all partiers, that whole group. I have a joke for you. What do you call a boy that doesn't masturbate?
Oh, I heard this one, Tommy.
So you know the punchline.
A liar.
Yes.
That's cute.
You know how many times a day I masturbate?
Oh, Tommy, really? TMI.
Twice. When I was younger, I could do it 5 times a day, but I'm at that point now where, it's just, the sex drive is starting to lower. I just hope the diabetes doesn't make it, lower the bar even further,
Well, it's kind of a free feeling, to tell you the truth.
Oh, I know.
One less thing you have to worry about or think about.
I know. I still get chills when I think about when you came out as asexual last year on here. That was just so wonderful, Terry. It really was.
Well, I finally figured it out.
Terry, my muse, thank you for always being a supportive friend and guest of this show. I just adore you from your belly button to your toes.
Thank you, Tommy. You're such a dear, such a sweet man.
Oh.
And I wish you continued success with your wonderful podcast. And like I said, it's just such a great thing for the performers and the fans and bringing people together. So thank you so much for that.
Always, Terry. Let's talk privately soon. And
okay, darling.
And have a great day. And have fun with David over there.
Okay. We're gonna take a nap now.
It's lunchtime. Have you eaten yet?
Yeah, I had a late breakfast, so yeah.
Okay, enjoy your nap, hun.
Okay, darling. Talk to you soon.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye-bye. So.
Ready?
Okay. So we did our first interview on September 11th, 2017, and I had been doing the podcast maybe 4 months by that point, and I was so nervous going into my interview with you because You were okay because you were so convincing as Big Rosie on Laverne and Shirley. I didn't know how you were going to be, but you made me so comfortable from the start. Even when we were talking in Messenger, yeah.
Oh, well, that's so dear. I'm glad that I could put you at ease, and I felt the same way about you. You know, everybody has a few jitters before any kind of interview, and it was a pleasure. It was a real pleasure, and boy, have you grown and succeeded. I'm so proud of you.
Oh, yeah, it's been a wild journey, I'll tell you, the last 5 years, real wild. And, especially when you told me that you had watched my stand-up video and loved it, I was just, that really put me at ease, really.
Oh, good. Now, what do I read about you moving to Hollywood?
No, that's not what I was saying on Facebook.
Oh, yes, that's what I was saying. Come on down, mister. You're ready for the big time.
I got nowhere to stay over there, and it's so expensive.
Well, I understand completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay for now. I think prices will go down. I'm hoping prices will go down because no regular people can afford to live here anymore, as they say. Regular people.
It's crazy.
They're quite high everywhere here now.
It's crazy, yeah. But yeah, I mean, 4 or 5 times. What is it about me that keeps you coming back?
Your humor, your heart.
Oh.
Yeah. Your humor and your heart and your genuine interest in people and what they're doing and the way they see things. You're a wonderful interviewer and a sweetheart of a guy.
Oh, thank you so much.
And funny, and plus funny, which is everything.
Oh, yes it is. I mean, you're hilarious. You're a comedic genius.
Oh, thank you, my darling. Thank you. I wouldn't go that far, but I will take that compliment and take a bow.
Yeah.
Oh. You are still up north.
Yes.
Northern California.
Right.
Go ahead.
Yes, I'm still up here in Redding. We've looked at places to possibly move to, and thinking of Modesto or somewhere like that. We don't know yet, but it's definitely possible in the next year or so.
Yeah, and I think why not Culver City? Why not Inglewood? Why not the San Fernando Valley?
Well, going back to that...
So you could be closer to where you could get to perform and be seen by people who can actually push your comedy career forward. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, going back to that price thing again.
Yes. Well, and it's you and your mom, is it?
Me, my mom, and my brother.
He's younger than you?
No, he's older. He's divorced with a couple of kids.
Oh, and the whole gang is hanging together right about now?
I wouldn't go that far, but we're definitely a dysfunctional family, but there's love in the family at least,
Yeah, that's everything. Love can see you through everything, so.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's been an interesting 2 years. Did you catch the COVID?
There was one day back in May of 2020 where I felt like I did. I got tested. Turns out it wasn't so. It was just like a 72-hour virus. It was stress, But no, I've been vaccinated twice and I got the booster shot, and I'm great. Yeah.
Yeah, good for you. Well, I've been staying safe myself. I still keep, 6 feet of distance between me and the next person. And I've had 2 boosters, and hopefully, it'll keep me safe. Anyway, I just want the country to recover.
Oh, Yeah. When we did our last conversation last year, I really appreciated that, you opened up to me about the sexual abuse that you suffered as a child. And I felt so honored that you trusted me with that. I know it's not easy.
Wow. I can't believe that I talked about it with you, but that's good that I did, because it's important to talk about it. It's important for people to hear that sexual abuse is not their fault, and that it's important for kids to tell their folks if something strange happens, to keep the lines of communication open with their children, so that children feel safe talking about anything and everything with their parents,
Yeah.
Because so many kids think it's their fault. And it just isn't. And, as I mentioned to you, probably I mentioned this to you, that, kids, teenagers want to seem cool. So if they are attacked or molested or sexually harassed, a lot of times they just don't say anything. They try to act, it's cool, I'm okay. But they need to talk to a conscious adult about what has happened to them and make sure it doesn't happen again. People who are under 18, underage, anyone really who is sexually harassed. So that's my 2 cents about that.
Yeah. You posted this article 6 months ago that I reposted, and it got me into a lot of trouble.
And what was that on?
Okay, so I agreed with this 100%. That's why I reposted it. It was that article about how lesbians are better at fingering girls than guys.
Oh no! I cannot believe you just said that to me.
That was that article, yeah.
Oh, that is so funny. I can't believe I posted it. I must have been out of my head.
Well, I was supposed to interview this semi-famous TV actress the next day, and she canceled on me, which I thought was weird. And a month went by, and I was trying to, say, hey, we're going to reschedule, what have you and stuff. And then, I retraced that whole thing, and I was like, oh my God, she must have seen that article and got offended by it. And it turns out she was, and she thought that I was going to have her come on here and talk about sex, and I wasn't. I was going to talk about her TV career and stuff.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's my fault for reposting it right away. I should have waited a day maybe, but you know what? It's fine, But I just thought that article was so awesome because I agreed, and there were people who responded that liked it too and agreed. So, it wasn't bad, But so, do you have any upcoming projects?
I have a film coming called Perez. It's Peribot, and it's a film we made right before COVID.
Okay.
And it's almost ready for international release. And let's see what else I did. I just finished season 2 of the web series called Smothered. With Mitch Hara and Jason Stewart. These 2 gay guys. It's like the gay odd couple who fight and fight and fight. And
love it.
Go ahead.
I said I love it. The gay odd couple. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a gay odd couple, and I play a therapist in a men's prison. So we have a lot of fun with that.
Nice.
And let's see, I'm auditioning for things right now.
Yeah.
Kind of a pain in the butt, because we don't take our picture and resume and go to a studio or go to an office to audition anymore. We self-tape on our phones and then send it in to the casting director. And I wasn't I'm an actor. I was a makeup artist, a cameraman, a lighting guy. It takes a village to make a good product. And so it's been kind of crazy these past few years doing self-tapes, but I guess it's the way of the world now since the pandemic,
Yeah. Did you listen to my interview with Christina Hart?
I didn't, and I'm going to when I hang up. I adore Christina Hart. She is such a fine actor, and we were both in that movie. She had a huge role. I had a little part in Helter Skelter.
Yeah.
But boy, she played someone scary in that. Yes, I knew her, and her late husband, Frank Doubleday, was an angel, and now he's a real angel. So.
Yeah. Yeah, 50 years later, she still has the same voice, and she still got that energy, and, she loved my jokes, and she was just awesome. I like talking to her.
Yeah, she's a great, great girl and a fine actor. I just love Christina Hart. I haven't seen her in a couple of years, but I haven't seen anyone in a couple of years.
Of course.
Yeah.
I have a joke for you.
Okay, good. I can't wait.
Okay, what do you call a boy that doesn't masturbate?
What do you call a boy that doesn't masturbate? I give up.
A liar.
Right, boy. You got that one. You got that one right.
I do it twice a day.
Well, it doesn't clear up your skin.
No, but
Makes you a happy camper anyway.
it makes me a happy camper for sure.
Yes. And have you been out doing your stand-up at clubs in your area?
Well, first off, there are no comedy clubs in this area. I haven't really done it much since I've been up here, I used to go up to the Bay Area at least, once a year and do it. I haven't done that in a while, obviously, but, it's it's on the list in the future. We'll see.
Good. And, how does a person find your podcast?
On YouTube.
Oh, very good. We just type in your name.
Tommy Kovac, yep.
Tommy Kovac.
Splat from the past, and I'm right there.
Beautiful. Well, Tommy, it's always such a pleasure to talk to you. I have to get dressed and go to the dentist today.
Carol, thank you for always being a supportive friend and guest. I love you, and I hope we finally get to meet in person when I go out there to visit.
I sure hope so, and you can always stay here with me, honey, if you want to, hit some of the comedy clubs down here, which I would like you to do.
Oh, well, we shall see, and I hope...
All right, darling one.
I hope you have a great day, and please stay safe.
Thank you, and I ask you to stay safe and stay funny and just keep on keeping on.
I'm going to keep on keeping on. Okay.
Okay, baby. Much love. Thanks for having me on.
My pleasure. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, darling.
Everything in the garage, and I'm not making any noise. Garage. So what do you want to talk about? Or we can just start talking.
Okay, so I want to let my audience know that, I met you in September of 2019. I was at Son of Monsterpalooza. I was going to see Tammy Lauren, and you were at the signing table next to her, and I was just so awestruck by you because I remembered you,
And me as you.
Yeah. Back in the day, I remembered you and stuff, and we did our first podcast on October 8th, 2019. I remember you surprised me when you told me that you were in the Dirt Bike Kid, and I had seen that movie a million times that I forgot about that because it's not mentioned on your IMDb,
Yeah, they owe me a lot of money, too.
I know.
They haven't paid any of the tax since then. I mean, they have SAG has lawyers going after them now, which is...
Oh, on that movie?
Yeah, no one... Because I was dating Peter Billingsley, and he hadn't gotten paid either. They owe him a lot more money than they do owe me, so...
Wow. Crazy.
Yeah.
But since I first met you, you've been so wonderful, so kind and friendly. What is it about me that keeps you coming back these 3 or 4 times?
I don't know. It's really interesting about people. I was talking to my son as a doctor. I was this morning, actually. And we were saying how you attract certain people into your life for a reason. Like, there'll be something about them that you don't even know that you don't even realize what it is.
Yeah.
But, you meet some people and they stay in your life. And you got other people that you meet and you forget about them 5 minutes later.
Yeah.
You just don't know. I like you. That's one thing. But there's a lot of people I like that I don't have in my life still, so I don't know.
Oh, you're the first one that. Yeah, you're the first one you're the first one who flat out said I like you. I love that. Thank you, Holly. I like you too. And what it is I like about you is that you're like the sister I always wanted. You're so accessible and so friendly, and you're so gorgeous and talented. You have no ego about it. Going back to that thing about being nice,
Thank you. Well, I'm up for adoption, so if you want to sister, I'm available.
I'm up for adoption.
I'm putting myself up for adoption.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it is about you I like, and just you're so great to talk to, you're so congenial, and it's always a great conversation, yeah. So how have things been overall since the last time we talked? Because it's been a while.
Well, with COVID and the war, the world is just so interesting. I try not to let it get me down, but I'm sure it's getting a lot of people down. Some people, I love that they're actually having it. They're turning it around. Like Billy Babka, the Karate Kid, he turned it around and worked in his stable, which I love. He knew people would be home.
Yeah.
Their quarantine. And his show was perfect timing, so it worked out for some people, which is so great. But other people, not so much. Sadly, and it's been really rough. A lot of lonely people, especially when you're single.
Mm-hmm.
Hard. And then there's also people that are married that have to be with their spouses, and maybe that might be hard as well. So, we're good. It could be good.
When you were with Corey, did he ever mention his previous girlfriend, Lala?
Yeah, he did. And Cricket, Lala, Victoria Beckham, Alyssa, and Nicole, yeah. He said good things about Nicole, and not Lala, though, unfortunately, but I think it was just teenage kind of stuff.
Yeah,
he went through.
I interviewed Lala back in November, and I'm like totally in love with her. She is so friggin' awesome.
She's so pretty. Yeah, that's because I always thought, because I used to see her around, I'm like, oh my God, she's so beautiful, and she's got this energy about her that you're drawn to it. She just sparkles. And I remember the first time I met her, I'm like, oh, she's so cool, and I want to be just like her. She's so cool. But Corey told me one thing, but it was, what he told me was like teenage stuff that he was upset about. It wasn't her as a person. It was more an experience that they had together that made him upset. As a person, I'm sure she's amazing and kind and good, and who knows what he did. You only hear one side of the story. But yeah, Lala seems extremely cool. I met her back in the day at Alfie's, but I haven't talked to her since. It would be fun to talk to her, actually.
Yeah, and she's Frank Zappa's niece, so it's not surprisingly that she's open-minded and has a really funny sense of humor, and I enjoy talking to her. She's great, she's a
I like hearing that.
She's a treasure, yeah, and
yes, I like that.
Yeah, and
Nicole's good.
Go ahead.
Yeah, good.
Well, you were in that great generation, with like Heather Hopper and Heather, what's her name, Laura Mooney, and like all these different actresses that were on shows back in the 80s when they were like 12, 13, 14 years old and stuff.
Yeah, I was talking with someone about that the other day. Like, I love that I grew up in the 80s and 90s. Like, with the world the way it is now, I look back and I'm thinking, God, we had it so easy and we're so lucky.
Yeah.
The 80s were amazing and the 90s were amazing and 2000s were amazing. But the 80s especially, because it was so innocent. And I remember, remember the first film I did, The Dirt Bike Kid with Peter Billingsley, which is not on my IMDb for some reason.
I know.
But that was so, I just remember thinking, it was just such an easy way of life. I was still living back in Texas, and, I just look back and think, God, I wish I could go back to that type of world. Innocent, a lot more innocent than kids are today.
I know. Well, today they're just so politically correct and woke, and they just get offended by everything.
I know. It's like you want to shake them and say, just relax. It's all going to be okay. You're like, 20 years from now, you're not going to care. It's going to be okay. I know. I'm with you. I'm with you.
I also.
I'm woke, but I'm not like woke. Yeah.
Right. I interviewed another co-star of yours from the Seed People, Sonny Davis.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Yeah, he was. He was the original Karen. He was, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. He wants his money back at the burger place. Yeah.
That's funny because my cousin was married to the producer of Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I didn't know that for a long time.
Oh, Stuart Cornfell or Art Linson, one of the two.
No, Ned Cannon. He did a lot of movies with John Hughes. So, and it's funny because so my great aunt was Nancy. So Nancy was married to, they called her Slim. She was married to Howard Hawks. Howard Hawks is the director of Gentlemen Prefer Blondes.
Oh, classic director, yeah.
Kitty. Yeah, Kitty was my, second cousin. I always just say cousin.
Yeah.
He was married to Ned Cannon, and he was the head of Paramount, and he was producing movies with John Hughes. So, and this was back before we had the internet, so I didn't know who he was, and I had no idea until, years and years later. So I go to meet John Hughes, not realizing how reciprocal it is, how everything is so intertwined. And meanwhile, Molly Ringwald is the one who got me started. Her dad got me started in acting back in Sacramento. And John Hughes and Ned Cannon, my cousin's husband, produced 16 Candles. So it's like he was the one that got her start. It's so interesting. And her dad was the one that got me my start. So maybe good karma. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it makes me happy because I just love Molly Ringwald, and I love anything she's in. She still looks the same as well. She still looks just as young as ever. And I just love her. She's gorgeous. She's just differently.
Yeah.
And I love that. She's original and special.
Oh, yeah, she is. My brother had a crush on her.
Every guy had a crush on her.
Yeah. 5 years ago, my brother and I are at a convention, and we meet Samantha Mathis, and my brother had a crush on her too, right?
Yeah.
And he said, I had a crush on you right after I had a crush on Molly Ringwald. And Samantha Mathis said, oh, everybody had a crush on Molly Ringwald.
They all did. Samantha, I remember seeing her in Pump Up the Volume.
Yeah.
I had the series. We were going to do a series of Pump Up the Volume. And oh God, this is so weird. I forgot about this. I have Lala's part.
Yeah.
It's going to be Holly. I totally, there's so many shows that came so close and then they got canceled. What happened with that one is I had it because I just lost them. It was the same producers. And I was going to do that. And then they pulled the plug on it. But everything is just so intertwined in this life. But yeah, I had that. But Samantha Mathis, I remember seeing her in that, just thinking she's just so cool. She was so cool, but with the sweet side edge, like a cool, different type of cool, like not the typical cool.
Yeah,
I like.
Yeah, she was kind of hard-edged when I interviewed her a few years ago, but she's cool for the most part. I mean, she just recently started following me on Twitter, and I was like, really? I thought she didn't like me.
Oh, good. Well, there you go. Well, sometimes people have their guards up. I have my guard up a lot, but my dog bit her. I remember my Yorkie. She came over to see my Yorkie, who was normally sweet, and he bit her. I felt so bad.
Oh, my God.
And she's so good with dogs. dogs. It wasn't her fault. I don't know. He was having a rough day.
Yeah, her mother was a great actress, too.
Yeah, she was.
BB Besh, yeah. So, do you have any upcoming movies or con appearances or anything?
With COVID, I had a film I was going to do in Texas that didn't happen because of COVID.
Yeah.
We had the Germany Comic-Con I was going to do with Andrew Duvoff and Tammy. We didn't get to do that. That was just the beginning of COVID. And I think with COVID and everything, things just slowed down. And the voiceover-wise, it took off. But no, I'm up for a few cool things, actually, though. I don't know if I could talk about them, but voiceover-wise. But, yeah, on camera, I kind of, like, years ago, just, I dealt with being sick, and having whatever I dealt with, I have a hard time dealing with anxiety.
Yeah.
So I can't go back to the way I can just go, the kind of world that you're in when you're an actor. It's like, literally, you're just go. I'm trying to take care of my health now.
Mm-hmm.
So, as the real people call it, the mental health, which I agree with, actually. I mean, you can't just keep going. The human body's not meant to do that way. So I'm just trying to have a more relaxed life, because the first part of my life, I'm starting at age 6, 7, 8, 9, around there, it was nonstop. Go. And, I'd rather have a more peaceful life. But I do love acting, and I miss it. I still do a lot of it, but I'm doing a lot of podcasts, actually. I'm doing one today, a documentary for Bobby Kimball from the band Toto.
Right.
Which is going to be really fun.
Really? So
I'm doing a lot of singing, too.
Yeah. So if I may ask, how do you know Bobby Kimball?
Oh, God, it's embarrassing. Okay, so I was at a party in Malibu, and I hear these guys talking next to me, and they talk about Toto, and I thought this guy that I knew was the lead singer of Toto, as if he wasn't. And I said, oh, I know the lead singer of Toto, because I talk to people. And the guy turns and says, oh, yeah, who? I said, Mickey Freeze. And he goes, no, I don't think so. I'm like, no, he is. Just trust me. And he's like, okay. So I go outside, and I'm sitting next to this woman that has a dog, and I love dogs. So we're talking, and her niece comes over, and she said, oh, you were on the OC. And she's like, can I get your autograph? I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So you should meet my uncle. He's inside. He's just the lead singer of Toto.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? And he walks out, and it was the guy I just talked to. And I said, whoa, wait a minute. Why didn't you tell me you were the lead singer of Toto? He's like, because you just seem so sure of yourself. He said, you even had me thinking I may not be the lead singer of Toto. So we were friends from that point on. I've been friends with his wife and the niece and Bobby, and I started doing backup singing for him. And then I hired him on, we needed some singers one day on a Shrek job. And they said, do you know of anyone? I said, well, what about Bobby Kimball from Toto? And they said, can you get him? And I called him up on his cell phone. He was sleeping, and he's like, I'll be there in 20 minutes. And he was so great, came in and just gracious, the most down-to-earth guy you'll ever meet, humble, and sang his ass off, as usual.
Yeah.
And they gave him the part of the Headless Horseman in the Thriller night, Shrek job. And, just a wonderful guy. I've been friends with them forever, and then my other friends, it's so funny because all my friends are kind of, I've met them in different places, but they're all really good friends with each other. So my other friend is married to one of the lead singers of Chicago, and my other friend's married to the lead singer, the other lead singer of Chicago, all the Chicago 17 stuff.
Robert Lamb?
And not Robert Lamb, no, Bill Champlin and Jason Sheff.
Okay.
And just the best, most talented guys. And the sweetest guys on top of it. I'm going to their house later, actually. So it's been such a cool thing. I keep getting drawn back into the music world because I had a record deal years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing is, the guy that gave me the record deal, I was doing Gary Shandling, and the music guy that wrote the theme song to the Gary Shandling show, he said, "Do you want a record deal in Japan?" And I don't like being the center of attention when I'm having to be myself. I like it when I'm playing a character. So I said, how about I get together a girl group? And he said, sure. So we got together the girl group. We got a record deal within a week. It was such a good group. And the ironic thing is, he was also producing a band with the three guys I just told you about, Bobby Kimball, Jason Sheff, and Bill Champlin, and then also Michael McDonald. So it's such a small world. Everything really is so intertwined. I'm noticing that more and more in the last few years.
Oh yeah, I mean, with all the interviews I've done, I find out, this person knew that person. Back in the day before the internet, it was such a small world in Hollywood. All the musicians and the actors knew each other. They hung out in Laurel Canyon. So I got a joke for you.
Right.
What do you call a boy that doesn't masturbate?
I took my water out. I knew it was going to be dirty. I don't know what.
A liar.
That's funny. Oh, can I borrow that one?
Of course, you could steal it.
I'll give it back. That's funny. That's funny.
Holly, thank you.
I don't know what it is.
Holly, thank you for always being supportive and such a wonderful guest and friend. And
Thank you, Vice Versa. I appreciate it.
Yes, and I hope you rock that documentary interview today for Easter, and that you just keep that pretty chin up and just be happy.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you. So, yeah, we did our first interview on December 7th, 2018, and I was so happy I found you on Facebook because you were always my favorite Gidget, and you surprised me just how open and kind you are, and you have a great sense of humor. And then I had you back on January 14th, 2020, and we spent an interesting hour talking social commentary about how fucked up the world is.
That sounds about right. I like it. Yep. Okay. Yes, indeed.
Yes.
The world it's up and down, right? If we were to have a conversation now, a longer one.
Yeah.
Certainly, we could have a field day about what's going on now, but yes, okay. I love that you keep records. You keep records for everybody?
Pretty much. I mean, I have everybody's, I got an episode guide with everybody's, written down the date and everything. I've kept it. And, yeah, so it's really come in handy for the anniversary show. But I wanted to ask you, though, what is it about me that keeps you coming back?
You're tenacious, Tommy, and you're fun, and you're kind, and you're interested, which I think is a wonderful quality, obviously, for someone who is interviewing. And I think you have great energy, and you, at least, as far as I'm concerned, I love the fact that you appreciated, sort of the nostalgic TV that I did a million years ago, and that was quite fun to sort of have that connection. As years go by, there's not so many people that even remember.
I know.
But I think mostly I would say you're fun, and a good person and lovely and a little wacky, and I like that. And you tell off-color jokes, and they made me laugh.
Oh, yeah. What I love about you is that, in spite of your wholesome all-American image on screen, you're also a New York girl, and you don't suffer fools. You're a strong, independent woman, and I gravitate towards those kind of women for friendship.
Well, I appreciate that, and I will take that. That means a lot to me. We all, actors especially, have a whole big facade happening, and they're known, for a certain persona that they give off, and so it's more in the interviewing process, and when we all get to be ourselves, that you really see who someone really is. I feel like in acting, we tap into different parts of ourselves, certainly, to play different characters, but I appreciate that you see what's underneath all that wholesome, gidgety, girl next door stuff, because that means a lot to me as well, so thank you for that. I am a big kid myself. So are you, though, right?
Oh, yeah, times a million.
Don't you think it keeps you feeling young? I mean, you are ridiculously young, but sometimes I feel like, what makes us age, there's some greeting cards or sort of, quotes about getting older, but being young and playful and seeing the world, through that perspective with wonder and joy is really, truly what
I think it keeps us young. So you're going to be young forever, right?
I hope so. Yes, but I'm never going to change. I love what I've become over this course of this journey. You know, I mean, like anyone, I have a lot of regrets of how foolish and dumb I was, 10 or 12 years ago. But I like what I've become now.
Well, that's a beautiful thing to be able to say, isn't it?
Yeah.
How many people can say that? And again, from my perspective, you're saying this at a really young age. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's a perspective often for people that have just, that are way beyond your age. And I think that's wonderful that you feel that way. It only goes uphill from here, right?
Right.
Good for you.
Thank you.
I want to ask you, I was thinking about this because, it's your 5-year anniversary.
Go right ahead.
I want to ask you, putting you on the spot, what do you love about interviewing? And part B, name a few, well, I don't know if you can say it on the air because everyone else will be insulted, but do you have some people that just really, I know you've loved everybody you've talked to, and there's something to be gotten from talking to everybody, but do you have some favorites? Present company excluded. I already know I'm one of your favorites. No,
yes.
I'm only kidding. But, those are my 2 questions for you. What do you love about the interviewing process?
Okay, what I like about the interviewing process, I love living vicariously through people who, worked their asses off to get to where they are. And I love the adversity that happened along the way and how they came back from it. I love people's journey stories. I get to hear people's journeys. I just love it. It's just so beautiful and just so gratifying to hear it, especially if they're telling it for the first time and no one's ever heard it. I love talking to people who don't really do interviews that often, and they get to tell their journey. And I guess, people have told me I have this way of getting people to open up about stuff, and it feels so gratifying. So that's for that first question. The second question, okay, aside from all the lovely ladies, yourself included, that are coming on this anniversary show, I love a lot of the icons who have only been on one time and gave me a wonderful first and only interviews. Ed Asner, Tommy Chong, Ronnie Blakely, Mitzi McCall and Charlie Brill, they cracked me up. They were hilarious. Willie Hall from the Blues Brothers, Melanie Chardoff, Pamela DeBar, Joyce Bulifant, Bobby Rydell. He just died shortly.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
I know Bobby Rydell. Wow, that's huge. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all huge. They're all everybody that you mentioned.
Yeah, and by the way, I put the list in front of me. I've had this list in front of me the entire time I've been doing these conversations, just in case someone asked me. And you're the only one so far who has.
I'm the only one that has?
Yeah.
Oh, yay. Well, I don't know, I mean, I am sure that there is something wonderful about, everybody that you spoke to, and I'm sure that there were times that were actually difficult. I'm imagining you had some interviews where they're were big pauses and they weren't really comfortable or something. I mean, it's an art form what you do.
Yeah, well,
I'm not gonna ask what were some of your least favorite interviews.
No, we don't need to be negative. We don't need to be negative. How about I tell you who's on my bucket list?
Who is on your bucket list?
Let's see, Valerie Landsberg from Fame. I adore her.
I have to look her up. I'm embarrassed to say I'm not sure who she is.
Once you see
movie Fame or the TV show Fame?
The TV show Fame. Once you see her, you'll know her. She was probably the most talented actress on that show, and she had to leave early, unfortunately. Nancy Allen. I'm actually negotiating with her right now.
Oh, yes. I would want to interview her, too. My gosh.
Susan Cowsill from the Cowsills. I love her singing voice. I talked to her brother a couple of years ago. I'm a huge fan of the Bengals and the Go-Go's. I'd love to interview any of the girls from those bands. Yeah, just people like that, and I'm sure there's others I can't even think of right now, but that's on the list that's in front of me that I can mention. I see on IMDb, I don't know if you can talk about it, but you did a project with Ray Romano called Somewhere in Queens.
Yes, and it's coming out at the Tribeca Film Festival. I'm going to New York, actually, for the premiere on June 7th, I believe is that Friday night. I'll check it in a minute.
That's the day after my birthday.
Oh my gosh, happy birthday.
Thank you.
What is that Friday? I'm just looking right now. No, it's actually Friday the 10th. It's the premiere of the movie at the Tribeca Film Festival. I'm actually excited because I'll tell you about it in a second, the movie. But I'm going to New York for two things, one of which might be fun for you to hear about, which is that it is the 50-year anniversary of the Broadway show Grease. And I had done Grease, a national tour, Broadway, been involved in it. I was one of the later...
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot about that.
But I'm excited because your buddy Lisa Raggio, who is one of my dearest friends, also was in Greece. And a lot of people in my life that are friends now were also involved in the early days with Greece. So having a big 50-year reunion party at Sardi's on June 5th. Celebrate, and then the week after that is the premiere of Ray's movie, and if you blink, you won't see me, but it was such a joy, and it was Laurie Metcalf and Ray Romano starring. Ray wrote it and directed it, and he's brilliant, and I predict it's going to be huge. It's just a slice of life, beautiful story about this Italian family and Ray's relationship with his son, and it's loosely based on his own son. Well, that's not really true, just that he's very tall.
Yeah.
Because Ray's son, one of his sons, is insanely tall. So he's like 6'4" or something. It's the sweetest, heartwarming, wonderful story. Ray's brilliant in it. And I actually haven't seen the whole movie. I only saw a very, very rough cut of it. Ray showed it to us in its very early stages. But it's a beautiful movie. I can't wait for it to come out and for people to see how incredibly, insanely talented that man is.
Yeah.
I mean, people already know, but, the more work he does, and the more he sort of has gotten away from the sitcoms, which he does brilliantly, but to see him do, such grounded, simple, human, emotional, well, he's not all that emotional, which makes us feel the emotion more as the audience. He's incredible. So, yeah, that's my long-winded message.
Do you have any more projects you want to mention?
Well, I just did two movies this year, both of which were incredibly special experiences for me in completely different ways. One was a movie called Let It Lie, and it is a horror thriller film. And my friend Barbara Crampton, Goddess, wife, had actually recommended me for this role. She was unable to do it and said, my gosh, you have to get Karen. And they literally said, yeah, whatever. And they auditioned people, and Barbara kept saying, she told me the story, so it makes me laugh. She said, okay, you can audition people, but no one's going to be better for us than Karen. And Barbara could talk anybody into anything. And so I was blessed because I ended up doing the role that called and offered it. And it was fantastic. We shot in Buffalo this past February, and it really is my first real horror film. I've done thriller and horror films before, but I'm always the one that, gets killed within the first 20 minutes. I'm the wholesome mom or the...
Beyond the gates, yeah.
Well, that I was dead before the credits even came up in the beginning, I think, right? But I've done some in the past where, I was always killed. Always killed. So this was such a great role. I play a psychic, spiritual advisor, sort of someone that halfway believes in what I'm doing until it gets real. And it's a great movie directed by Brandon Christensen, who is amazing. And then I just did a wonderful Western. So I got to do two movies that I've always dreamed of. And I play
It's called No, come on, Karen. Among the Willows. Among the Willows? Let me just make sure, because nothing is worse than saying the wrong name of a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on one second. And please delete the fact that I don't know.
Okay.
Amongst the Willows? I think it's Amongst the Willows. And we just shot it in March, and it's a gorgeous, gorgeous Western. And I play a frumpy, old, just abused woman, and I loved it. It's stuff that I would never get to do. It took I had to put my ego a bit on the shelf, because I think I've played cute all my life, and as I'm aging and that gets more and more out of reach, this was one of those movies where it was just like, okay, no makeup, frumpy, heavy, saggy, who cares, really, really sort of diving into this. And it was actually very freeing, to not worry about, do I look okay? Am I okay? It was interesting as an aging actress to let myself go and sort of do that kind of a role. And it's a great movie. Beautiful.
All right.
So those there, blah, 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 blah. There you go. Among the Willows is what it's called, not Amongst the Willows. That's not proper English.
Perfect. I can't wait to see them.
Yes, thanks.
So, I got a couple jokes for you.
I was just going to say, where's my joke? Come on, bring it.
Okay. What do you call a lady that doesn't squirt?
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. That took me by surprise. I'm not going to lie. You've told some dirty jokes before. Okay, what do you call a lady that doesn't squirt? Oh, geez. I've got regular jokes. I'm sure as hell not going to get this one. I can't even be clever. I'm just giving up. So you can say the punchline. Go!
An underachiever.
Oh, God. Oh, okay. I don't know. Okay. Get it? Okay. Hit me with another one. I'm not sure I loved that one, but I'm giving you A for effort. How's that?
Okay, that's perfect. Okay, what do you call a boy that doesn't masturbate?
Oh, jeez. Frustrated?
You do not know how often I get that one. No, a liar.
Okay, I like that. Very good. I like that more than the squirty one. Go ahead. I'm rating your jokes. I'm sure you're pleased.
Oh, this is awful. This is awful.
You're going to give me an awful one. Okay, Gidget. I'm ready.
Okay. How do you make your wife scream twice?
Oh, my God. I actually know this joke.
Okay.
I've told this joke. But I tell it I'm Jewish, so I can say this. How do you make a Jewish woman scream twice? So you want me to say this on your podcast, Gidget?
Go ahead.
And say this?
Go ahead.
Fuck her up the ass and wipe it on the drain.
Yes! That was it.
Oh, my God. Don't ever tell anybody, even though this is a podcast, people are listening, I take it back. I'm wholesome as I appear. No, you know what's weird?
What?
That joke, for some reason, is one of the only jokes I actually can remember. Oh, my God. Anyway,
okay.
Tommy, happy anniversary to you. Job well done, my friend.
Karen, I just adore you. Thank you for being a supportive friend and guest to me in the show. And yes, I will let you know when I'm going to go out there and stuff. And I'm so glad that you're all right after what you told me about what happened in January. Just please take good care of yourself and please stay safe.
I will. Please, God, you too. And take care of that diabetes so that we're not, we don't have to worry about you.
I will.
Stop it in its tracks, okay? And
I will.
Keep on trucking, baby.
Keep on trucking.
See you.
Okay.
All right. I'll speak to you soon, Tommy. Congratulations.
Thank you, hon. All right.
All right. Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye-bye. Take care. Hey, Barbie. What's going on?
Oh, what if I was your tax man?
Oh, what is
He's calling him Barbie without knowing. I'm fine. How are you? Happy anniversary.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm surviving and remaining positive. I just got diagnosed with diabetes the other day, but I'll get through it.
Sorry, you just got diagnosed with what?
With type 2 diabetes.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. My brain. Yes, I did see that post. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's in the early stages.
Yeah, I gotta be careful too because I've got it in my family.
Oh yeah, same here. But it's in the early stages. I'll get through it. But yes.
Oh, good.
5 years. Oh my God. So we did our first interview on January 28th, 2018. And
wow.
I hadn't listened to any previous interviews you had done, so I didn't know what to expect. I think I thought that you would be like your persona, just really dark, and quite possibly unfiltered, but instead you were a pleasant surprise, and you had a wonderful sense of humor, and you've been on here 4 times. What is it about me that keeps you coming back?
Oh, dearly, darling, I don't know. Have I been on 4 times? Is this the 4th time?
Well, this is technically a 5th time, but yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God. Oh, jeez. That's amazing. No, but, we always have a good chat. So that's fantastic. I mean, I must say, I'm trying to keep positive as well, but, geez. I mean, we can swear, right?
Of course we can. We always do.
Well, hell, the world seems to be going to hell in a handbasket, as they would say up north. And it's just, that's why I posted a picture with Vincent Price and holding a bunch of cats. Because I thought that'll cheer everybody up, but geez, it's a little bit hairier on this side of the Atlantic, I think, because
yeah.
We're seeing some sort of far-right folks taking over different countries and,
Last time we talked, we were talking about Grizzly 2, and I'm curious to know, what's the fan response been like since it's been released?
I have no idea. I haven't sort of been in touch and stuff, and I must admit they cut out a lot of my scenes.
Yeah.
I was a little bit disappointed, but hey, that's showbiz.
Mm-hmm.
But I have no idea. I watched the film and I was astonished. I mean, it looks fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
It's a gripper. It does what it says on the tin, as the Brits say. It's Jaws in the forest kind of thing. And but it's got a backstory. You understand why the mama bear is upset, and so it's an enormous amount of fun. And you see people who sort of go on to do different stuff, and especially sort of George Clooney and Charlie Sheen and the lovely
Deborah.
I can't remember her name. Oh, that's her.
Deborah Foreman.
Right? No, another lovely.
Louise Fletcher.
How embarrassing. No, Heath Ledger isn't in it.
No, Louise Fletcher.
Oh, no, sorry. No, it would have been a very different film if Heath Ledger had been in it. No, not Louise Fletcher. I'll get there.
Laura Dern. Laura Dern, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, not a big, personal fan response from it, but, well on them. My God, it took, I don't know how many decades to get it finished. So, it looks great, and it's like I said, it's very well done.
I enjoyed it. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It wasn't as stinky as I thought it was going to be, but I enjoyed it. Everyone looks young. The band playing on stage reminded me of the band in Howling 2. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well, it's a funny thing because when you think that those 3 people got killed off very quickly by the bear, went on to become, pretty major Hollywood stars. And I remember reading an interview with Laura Dern. She said, "Oh my God, we had so much fun in Hungary, and all this sort of stuff."
Yeah.
But it was, I never met them because it was just the concert and the park scenes that I was involved with. But no, it was a strange film.
Mm-hmm.
But, like I said, I think they put it together really nicely, especially after all these years. Good on them,
Yeah.
But I would never say, crosswords about any film that has numbers after the titles. Considering virtually all the films I've ever been in have numbers after the titles. Death Wish 3, Always a Dude.
Yeah.
So, but, good on them. I think the only... Sorry?
I was going to say, I sent Suzanne a message at Christmas time, and she told me I was one of her favorites of the guys that interviewed her. I thought that was very nice of her to say.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, well, no, I mean, you're enormous fun to chat to.
Oh.
I mean, I've only got one thing to really sort of...
Have you been doing any conventions?
Anyway. No. I think it's awkward for convention promoters to get us over there, because what if the border shuts? And of course, up until I think it was November last year, there were quarantines and stuff. I mean, I'm obviously happily vaccinated, but I know Doug's done a couple.
Yeah.
Doug Bradley. And he said he was okay. He just keeps masked up and no photo ops and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know. It's so different because, it means a 7, 8, 10-hour flight or something for me. And it's like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Since air rage has seemed to have gone up hugely since all this started. But,
yeah.
I don't know.
You think...
It's a funny old world.
It sure is. You think there'll be any Hellraiser 35th anniversary reunions this year?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't heard a whisper. Obviously, last year, the 35th anniversary would have been the big one, but of course it's Hellraiser 2 came out in '88.
Right.
So that's the 34th
right.
year, 34. Trying to desperately do math in my head, which I'm not very good at. So maybe 2023 they'll put an effort out. And of course, this new Hellraiser film is coming out.
Oh, I didn't know that. Cool.
At the end of the year. Oh.
I'm late to the party on that one.
Yeah, no, there's a new one, and Clive, I believe, is involved as a producer, and they're using, I mean, I'm not quite sure of any of the details, to be honest. And so that's supposed to be happening. I think they were filming in Serbia or something like that, and that's all been done and dusted, and so I guess they'll just wait. I don't think it's going to be a theatrical release. I mean, there aren't that many theatrical releases, to be honest, are there? So,
no.
Unless they're a blockbuster.
Yeah. I was supposed to interview Tony Randall last year. He said yes, and then I asked him, what day and time, and he never confirmed, so it didn't happen. Maybe I'll reach out to him again this year. I was thinking about reaching out to Cliff Wallace this year too.
Oh yeah, he's so lovely. Yes, he's very funny and a great guy. And Tony is good too. I mean, you should absolutely reach out. I mean, maybe. You never know, excuse me. It was just a cough. Nothing terrible. I'm sure he'd be interested in doing stuff. Just tell him I did it.
Yeah. So I've talked to you, I've talked to Simon, I've talked to Nicholas. I can't get a hold of Ashley. And I talked to what's her name, Paula Marshall, who was in the third one, and she was the female Cenobite with the belly button. Back in September, your co-star from Death Wish 3, Gavin O'Harley, passed. I was curious to know, what was he like?
Gavin was absolutely adorable. He was a bit of a lad when I knew him. Of course, it was the the mid-'80s. But he was a lovely guy, very professional, really funny, and my memories of him are only very fun. I was very sad to hear that he had passed away.
Yeah.
But he hated his hairdo in Death Wish 3. It was like, look what they're making me wear.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
But, he'll always be remembered as the man with the reverse Mohican. So, and other things too, of course. But
yeah.
he was also a very, very solid, good actor, as most of the people in there were. But it's funny to see, Alex Winter was in it, and he went on to do all the Bill and Ted stuff.
Of course.
And I believe become a producer and director himself. So, and of course, Marina Sirtis became Counselor Troy in
Star Trek: The Next Generation. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was just stuffed full of potential stars, that film. As well as, of course, the man himself, Charles Bronson. But no, I felt very sad about that because he was a lovely guy. I mean, I wasn't in touch with him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what's so extraordinary about the hell. I mean, I was just texting Simon Bamford the other day, because we've all kept in touch, with the Hellraiser crowd, and I think that's really kind of lovely,
Yeah.
But it's conventions that kept us together and kept meeting us, so we keep with the, just dropping in and saying, hi, how you doing? But it's so strange. I keep saying, I feel quite isolated myself, but I'm sure that eventually things will.
I have a joke for you.
Go ahead.
Why did Frosty the Snowman have a smile on his face?
Oh dear God, why?
He saw the snowblower. Get it?
Oh Jesus! I knew you were going to throw another joke at me.
It's a Christmas joke.
That's pretty good, actually.
It's a Christmas joke. Barbie, I want to thank you so much for always being a supportive friend and guest, and I'll be happy the day that I find out that you're at a California con so we can finally meet in person.
Oh, listen, I'll let you know, absolutely, if any of them happen. But obviously just keep an eye on the Facebook thing, because I'm pretty terrible at, letting things know. But if I'm there, you'll know. And it's been, as always, a delight to chat to you. And happy anniversary again.
Yes, thank you so much. You have yourself a happy Easter, and be safe over there.
Oh, you too. Same to you. Be safe. Keep safe.
Okay.
And, keep always look on the bright side of life.
Always look on the bright side. Okay.
Which is the quote from The Life of Brian. always willing to come out with a Monty Python quote.
That's another.
So, okay, take care of yourself, and thanks for getting in touch to have another chat.
My pleasure. Okay. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Take care.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Hi.
What's up, Allison?
What's up?
It's
just doing Tuesday things. How are you?
Well, let's get the Debbie Downers out of the way. On April 6th, I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, and I dropped sugar the moment I found out. I've lost maybe 12 pounds since then, and my face starting to look like Skeletor, kinda, but not really. And I'm at the gym every day. I've changed my diet. I'm remaining positive, and I couldn't be more grateful for this, because I was going on one crash diet after another the last 5 years and stuff, so this has really helped me, even though it's not the way I hoped it would be, even though diabetes runs in my family. And now, here I am, 5 years of the podcast.
Amazing, and I'm so sorry to hear about that. I did not know that, so
Yeah.
That's scary stuff, but, hopefully we can, adapt and change behaviors and stuff. It's hard.
Yeah, it's in the early stages, so it hasn't gotten to the point of pumping insulin or checking the blood sugar yet, so. But
well, that is great. My brother has the same, and he's never had, like, a weight problem. He just eats crap, which growing up was always like, how come you're so skinny and you can eat whatever you want, and then finally kind of caught up with him, and so he's in he had to change his whole lifestyle, and, he's doing better, though, so all the power to you, Tommy.
oh, thank you. Yeah, I was the cookie monster when I was a kid. I used to eat those cookies with the weird smiley faces on them. That's where it all began.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Giggles. Yeah, that's what they were called. Giggles. So we did our first interview on December 11th, 2019, and we connected right away. You were so congenial, yet so professional, that I felt like I knew you my whole life beyond your work. And then on May 1st, 2020, we did our second one, which was 2 hours of slice-of-life conversation. What is it about me that keeps you coming back?
Oh, Tommy, you're just a great guy. You're just easy to talk to. You're not, like, super intrusive. But you're still useful. And it's interesting, and your passion and your enthusiasm for what you're doing is contagious. And, of course, I want to support you in doing all of that. So you're just a great guy overall. So.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I mean, I love how we both have a birthday a day apart, and we both exude empathy and a sick sense of humor. You're very sisterly, and your listening is exceptional. You're a good listener.
Oh, thank you. So are you.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm very proud that in our first podcast I got you to put your finger in your belly button.
I don't remember that, but wow, awesome.
Yeah. So how are things on the career front?
They're going, I'm coaching a lot now, so it's actually just like a whole new, not new, but like, I want to say like renewed passion for actually, I guess selfishly, my work as well. So, I feel like I'm at the top of my game in terms of my training and like how I interpret work, and I'm just like, I feel like I'm on the best level I've ever been on in terms of my my craft. So I mean, it's just kind of renewed everything. So there's auditions. There's a certain sense of confidence I think that comes after a long time of pursuing something in terms of like being able to be picky about things that I want to spend my time doing, versus making every audition, make or break, which comes with like youth and inexperience. But because I have experience now, like so much of it, then I appreciate it.
That's awesome. Do you get a satisfaction teaching that you don't do when you're actually acting?
That's a great question.
I ask it all the time because I talk to a lot of actors turned teachers.
Molly, well, that's a loaded question. That could be like a freaking 2-hour answer. Let's see. Ask me it one more time, and I'm going to see if I can simplify here.
Okay. Do you get a satisfaction teaching that you don't get when you're actually acting?
Okay. So, number one, I feel like it's like a giving back, a being of service to making someone else, helping someone achieve their dreams, which is unbelievably fulfilling. But I've never looked at acting as being a selfish endeavor, because my training growing up was always about being generous to the other fellows in your scene or in the show or whoever you're working with. So, and I attribute that a lot to like the great coaches that I had, but also my experience on set. Like, I learned by doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked with some fantastic, like, legend people that really taught me, you know, how to not be a selfish actor.
Right.
So, it does give me a great sense of, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. It does give me a fulfilling, because I can help impart that on the future actors. Like I work with like young 18-year-olds, and then I have people that are, you know, in their 60s and stuff. And everyone kind of approaches acting kind of differently. It's more of like I don't want to say selfish again, but the idea of being of service to like your cohort, your coworker, your team partner, I'm surprised is so foreign to a lot of people. It's always about how many lines do I have? What, you know, always about me, instead of what am I getting from the other actor? What can I give them to help them make this scene as a group or as a team work to the best of its ability? So, like, yeah, I get a lot of, what's the word again I'm looking for? A lot of satisfaction out of being able to part that with other actors. Yeah. So that's a long-winded answer to that question.
That is wonderful. That is wonderful. I mean, you're a fantastic actor yourself. You know, about a year ago, I saw that episode you did of Highway to Heaven when you were like 10, and you were just well beyond your years in that episode, because you go from being this, you know, sweet, precocious little girl to being a real bitchy girl, you know, later in the episode. It reminded me of Michelle Pfeiffer in Sweet Liberty. When Alan Alda first meets her, she's in character as a 17th century maiden, and she's all sweet and innocent, and then when he meets her out of character, she's a complete bitch. Yeah.
No, that was great. Working with Michael Landon was terrific. I don't know if we talked about that before.
I don't think we did.
So my brother was also an actor when he was younger. He was 4 years older than I was. And he was going in for, I believe it might have been Highway to Heaven. I don't know. But I went I went with him to his callback or whatever. And it was, I was sitting in the waiting room and he came out and was like, and the casting met me and they were like, hey, let's meet, you know, Michael. And I was like, okay. I was probably 6 or 7.
Right.
And then cut to like 4 or 5 years later, they were casting that role, and I had been working, so I had kind of proved myself in terms of having credits at that point. And then I went straight to set to have my meeting, and it was just with him and I, because he was directing the episode.
Right.
So it was on set, like, with him, and I think that was like my first big theatrical job, because I had been doing billions of commercials and plays and film and stuff like that. So that was my first TV job, and it was fantastic. I mean, he was such a nice guy and so giving and loving and all of that stuff.
Oh yeah, I've only heard one bad thing about him, and that's from the woman who played his wife on Little House on the Prairie. She just wrote a tell-all book recently, saying that he was sexist and that he didn't give women equal pay and all that crap. But I've heard nothing but great things about him, at least on that show. The horror icon Michael Berryman has a whole chapter about him in his memoir that's coming out.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't say anything bad about him for sure. So.
Yeah. And I also watched Made to Order again on YouTube, but I saw you sitting at the dinner table with that other girl, that other rich girl and stuff.
Yeah. That's the River Phoenix's sister. Yeah.
Yeah, I never realized, too, that movie has a great anti-racism message, because Ali Sheedy's character learns about how, you know, minority maids get treated in such a racist kind of a way. You know, it's her, Bogota Plaza, and that singer lady there, and it's got a great message. I was actually supposed to interview Bogota Plaza this summer with her book coming out. That's been 3 years in the making.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I haven't watched that film in a very, very long, decade. So, I should probably rewatch at some point, but...
You're still hoping you're going to get a role as a hooker?
I don't know if I'm hoping, but, I'm open to those types of roles, of course. I mean, nothing too wild, but, the fun ones, the ones where you can stretch.
Yeah. That is so awesome, Allison. I'm so glad that you got all that going on, and I just, I appreciate you so much, and you're just absolutely wonderful, and thank you for always being a supportive friend and guest to the show.
Yeah, absolutely. And congrats to you on 5 years. That's amazing. Keep it up. Keep going. I'm always so happy when I see you're doing, you're just keeping on, and,
Oh, yeah, I just got a email just before we started from Eric Brown from Private Lessons, and they're playing with fire. He's always a teenage boy who's sleeping with an older woman. Now he's like he's got his own business now. He's like a mogul, and he said, yeah, I'm willing to do the interview. So, yeah, that's a bucket list interview I've been waiting for a long time, because I didn't know how to get in contact with him until I just discovered he has a website. So, yeah, I got a lot of great ones coming. Hopefully I'm gonna be talking to Nancy Allen soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, yeah. I mean, great. I'm totally rooting for you, and love that you're continuing it and keeping it going. So, yay!
And also, real quick, I have a joke for you.
Okay. Let's hear it.
What do you call a boy that doesn't masturbate?
Oh, I don't know.
A liar.
I have a 10-year-old, so...
Yes.
I think that gets me a little different than it would have, I don't know.
Give him 2 more years. How's he doing, by the way?
He's great. He's just such the apple of my eye, and I'm just so grateful that I get to be his mom. I mean, it's great. He's so fun and adventurous and all things. So
everything that he inherited from you.
Oh well, no. We'll keep it. I'll keep an eye on it. Yeah, for sure.
Allison, you have yourself a great day. Please stay safe. And yes, you're always welcome back on to promote and talk about things.
Oh, well, you're great. And again, congrats on 5 years. It's amazing.
Thank you so much. Well, I'll talk to you later.
Okay. Bye, Tommy.
Okay. Bye-bye, Allison. So,
Yes, Tommy.
So we did our first interview on May 5th, 2019, and I remember I had tried to get in touch with you sometime in 2017, but you were off the grid on Facebook then, and we eventually connected, and I remember we talked for 2 hours and 25 minutes, and you're still on my list of my favorite interviews because you were so congenial, so sweet, friendly, had a great sense of humor. It was just fantastic. And then we did our second one on November 9th, 2019, and you listened to me tell my journey, and you were just so lovely. What is it about me that has kept you coming back?
You're nice.
Oh.
And you're nice, and you had my back for that one moment where you were in touch with me about, something, and I thought, what a nice person who looks out for other people, caring human being,
Yes.
That means the world, because there's a lot of people out there that appear, I think, to be very nice, but when given the opportunity or when they feel full of fear, they all of a sudden become duplicitous, and, out comes this other side. I am more just, I always say the worst part about being me is being me. Because, I like wear my heart on my sleeve. I have a very hard time hiding my feelings if I'm sad. Things
are very strong in me when the emotions come, especially ones of grief and stuff. And people have been, over the years, just a handful of people, but they can be very cold and cruel about that, make you feel like there's something wrong with you, and then talk about you as though there is something wrong about you. So kindness and care and concern, I think, it matters, and that deeper level of humanity, it matters how we treat others. So there you have it, Tommy.
Aww. I love your shameless laugh when I tell you jokes, you know. You're so empathetic, you know, just an all-around caring person. That's why I gravitate toward you as well, you know. And, you know, I see a lot of your acting roles where you play these kind of edgy kind of girls and stuff, right? But it takes a really sweet girl to play an edgy girl, you know?
Well, I always feel like back when I was working, I was hired, I think, primarily because of the organic ability to tap into the feelings of the characters that I was playing, and a lot of those girls had, you know, things that were haunting them, emotions and aspects of their life that were haunting them. And so I allowed that to be, and I felt it for real, like I would feel something real for myself, you know. It's like you really play. You go into their playground, and you kind of, almost, I think sometimes acting is like channeling. You just kind of get out of your own way, and you start being empathetic and feeling to the people that you're playing. And so I would agree with you. I mean, I think a lot of people, edgy people, sometimes it goes awry and goes down a path that can be destructive. But again, like you said, I think the root of that is...
We did our first interview.
You're actually in touch with us.
Did you know I finally got to interview Judy Aronson?
No, Judy!
Yep.
Aww. How'd that go?
Oh, God. Okay, so check this out. So for 4 years, I was trying to get her on here, and she kept telling me that it was going to happen. She just didn't know when, you know. But in the back of her mind, she wanted to wait until she had something to promote. So the movie 13 Fanboy that she was in, which I was a contributor to, came out that last week of October. And so we made the set time for 8 o'clock on a Tuesday night, the week before Halloween, and she was like 45 or 50 minutes late, and I think she was like working out or something like that along those lines, and she forgot, but she made a promise, right? So she calls me 8:45. We spent about 5 minutes talking off record, just getting to know each other. And then the interview was so great. I mean, we were supposed to talk 30 minutes. We talked a full hour and a half, and she was just so charming, so sweet. And she was surprised that, like, I knew all her friends that I've interviewed, like you and stuff, and because she didn't do any research on me. She's so busy. But it was a wonderful conversation, and yeah, it's on my list of favorites now, you know, and it was magic. It was magical.
Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely.
Yeah. So now if I can get, you know, Suzanne on, or I don't know about Betsy Russell. I think there's some weirdness there. I've tried getting her on before, and I guess her manager didn't approve it or whatever. But we shall see. You know, are you still doing Sugar and Scream with them?
Well, I was doing Sugar and Scream with Suzanne, and I still want to do Sugar and Scream, you know, since the pandemic. We were working on it, and, you know, things are slower when it's not your job, right? When you're making things happen around everything else. and you're making things happen, which we did, and we shot 4 episodes, but there was a technical problem. We ran into a big technical problem, which I won't go into, but anyway, and then we were just jumping back into it in a more, just in a stronger way when the pandemic hit. And so that kind of moved my attention and the pandemic. There was no getting together with people and flying up. You know, Susanna and I live in 2 different cities.
Yeah.
And so it just became more difficult. And we never got back to it. I mean, it's been 2 years, really 3 years since we, really were into it. Mm-hmm. But the 1 year there were some difficult things with, you know how I think I've shared with you, my mom has had, in the last 6 years, a lot of medical challenges.
Right.
And so I really had to be there a lot for her, and not anymore, but at that time, it really slowed a lot of the things up that I was doing. But anyway, I do want to bring back Sugar and Screen because it's a real shame. I can't imagine the amount of projects that are out there that lost their mojo. You know, it's because of the pandemic. And I did move on to something else. I've been working on a musical, and I've recorded 19 songs for it, and I've written them, and it's been a tremendous amount of work. I have a writing partner on it, and anyway, we've just worked very, very hard over the pandemic. We did just a ton of work working on this other project, and but I hope to get back to Sugar and Screen, and I hope it's going to be sooner than later, because I just think the show idea is absolutely adorable, and what we shot was absolutely adorable, and was fun. Betsy was one of the people on it. We were all in class together. Myself, Suzanne, Betsy, so many of us were in acting class together forever, for years.
Mm-hmm. And do you remember the actress who played Dorothy in The Stepfather?
Yeah, you mean the one that, Dorothy? You mean, did she play in the library or something?
Yeah, Gabrielle Rose, her name was.
Yeah.
I just got in contact with her. We're in talks about doing an interview for the 35th anniversary. I had tried to get, what's her name, Robin Steven, and she went into teaching, and so she didn't want to do it. And she did a lot of good stuff back in the 80s, but she just doesn't want to talk about it, unfortunately. But, yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
She was such an adorable girl.
Yeah, I really wanted to talk to her, but she's just not up to it because she's teaching now. And I've tried getting Stephen Schillen. That guy has been through a lot, so I don't think I'll end up talking to him. But yeah, so I am just so blessed. I mean, 5 years of doing this, I can't believe it. I didn't think I was going to do more than 10 at first, but it just keeps going and going.
How many have you done, Tommy? Congratulations.
Okay, so I'm not counting all these anniversary conversations. So I'm coming up on 1,500 by next week.
Oh my goodness. Hold on.
Okay.
You hear this? That's me standing up. Do you hear this?
Wait, you're gonna applaud?
Standing ovation! Standing ovation.
Oh, thank you.
Excellent. Congratulations to you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a wild ride, and it's going to keep going for however long it can. Not to delve. So I have a joke for you.
Yeah. What?
What do you call a boy that doesn't masturbate?
Oh gosh, we're back to sex jokes. I don't know, Tommy.
A liar.
That's pretty good.
People are loving that one. Yeah, I think that's my permanent staple. Well, Jill, I want to well, I just want to say, I thank you so much for always being a supportive friend and guest, and I hope that, my next LA trip, we can finally get together and see each other in person.
Yeah, how often did you come out to LA, Tommy?
Well, before the pandemic, it was twice a year, and it's been, going on 3 years now since I last went. I remember when I went in September of 2019, we had talked about meeting up, but I guess you were still in San Diego. Yeah.
Yeah, I spent an awful lot of time there. Because of, I think I mentioned about someone that has been on Facebook and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it publicly, but
no.
Anyway, I would be happy to talk about where I live now, but I don't want anyone to know.
Of course.
But I do live in a different place now. I'm not I am in Los Angeles because I have a home here too. But I just recently bought a home elsewhere, and I'm loving being there. I happen to be in LA right now, but I'm really loving my new home I bought recently elsewhere.
I'm so glad. So, yeah, we'll talk soon. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and please be safe. And just remember, you are beautiful.
Thank you, Tommy. You're so sweet. And I wish you every bit of health and positivity for that diabetes, that type 2 diabetes. You are going to conquer this. Go for it.
I am going to conquer it. And by the way, you can always call me on my cell phone, if you ever want to chat.
Thank you, Tommy.
Okay.
Good to talk to you.
You too.
Hey, Tommy. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. So we did our first interview on February 5th, 2018, and I remember...
Oh, my God. It was? Wow.
Yeah. And I remember I was trying to get in touch with you in 2017, but I couldn't. But then you did get back to me, and I was flipping with joy, I remember, and it was the first of like 2 or 3 times we did it while you were driving.
Oh, right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Wait. I remember that. It took me a while, because I was, hold on, there's someone trying to get hold of me, and what do I need to do? No, do nothing. I think you have to let it ride out, I guess. Hold on. Sound out of there.
Yeah.
Hold on. There we go. Yeah, I remember that. And I was always on the move. Well, I had that commute because I used to live in Westlake Village, and also it was like my perfect alone time when I was in the car. So for me, it was perfect, but for the recording, it wasn't so good.
Yeah, I remember you were the second person that I had done a driving interview with. I remember like months before I had talked to Kathleen Wilhoit, and she was coming back from San Diego after teaching an 8-hour acting class, and she was tired. She didn't remember much, and it was kind of awkward. I cut it really, really short, but. You were just a ball of energy, and you were so forthcoming and candid that it was hard not to fall in love with the wonderful person that you are.
Oh, thank you. That's so nice. Thank you.
Yes. So, what is it? Go ahead.
That was like the year before, that was like the time when I was sort of at the very end of my marriage, and I was closing in on it. It was just short of a year later that I left my husband. It was such a fun time to leave. It really meaning that's serious. I was like, oh my God, I'm free. I'm out from under that energy, and because my kids were both in college, so I was like in the countdown. Definitely by fall of 2018. So, yeah, I was revving up for an early 2019 exit.
Yeah. So, what is it about me that keeps you coming back?
Well, you're so endearing. Even though you're so endearing. Even though I always like, oh my God, I know there's going to be a dirty joke at the end. But you yourself are so endearing. That's what keeps me coming back. And you know so much about movies and projects and actors. It's fun. It's very fun.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I mean,
you're welcome.
As I've said, before, you allow me to be me, and you're so open and honest, and you'll tell me if I go too far.
Right, exactly. That's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
Yeah, I mean, in 2018, we did like 4 interviews that year, and that was during a time when I would have trouble getting guests consistently, and I would ask people like you or Diane or Rutanya to come back and have a fun conversation. And then once 2019 started, I began getting more and more people that got to a point where I ask you all like once a year now because I'm just so busy with other people. Yeah.
So wonderful. That's so wonderful. Speaking of Rutanya Alda, I just did an on-camera interview for they're re-releasing, of all things,
Girls' Night Out.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do that.
Oh, we've talked about it before, about how, I remember I asked you if that guy really farted when you two were in bed.
Oh my God. Yes, funny. So they're re-releasing it. I think it, as a collector's item thing, and the producer is a really, really nice guy out of London, and anyway, it was fun because he said, well, if you have a chance, look at the movie again before I did my interview, which I did, and and apparently in the new Blu-ray, which they're going to send me, they have my old interview from the first time that it came up, which was years ago, and then now this one. So, I should know, but I think that they haven't changed the title, but anyway,
that is
those are the 80s movies.
That is so fucking cool. It's coming out on Blu-ray finally. I wonder if Lauren's going to be interviewed, because I interviewed her last summer.
Oh, fun. I don't know. I hope so. I bet she would, and I bet she probably has. I think Ewan said Lois Robbins was interviewed, Paul Christie,
Laura Summer.
And I think Jimmy Carroll wouldn't do it or couldn't be found. I'm like, do you know anything about where he's at, or
no?
Jimmy Carroll?
No, I have no idea. But
anyway, it was just funny that every time his name came up. Yeah, I like her so much.
Yeah, Laura Summer. Hopefully, she was interviewed and stuff. She seems to like to. Yeah, she seems to like to talk about it.
Yeah, she's such a great girl. We had a few girls' nights out, easy girl. But not like Girls' Night Out, like the movie, but.
Tell me now how you got cast on The Young and the Restless. I'm so proud of you and so happy that this happened.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it was actually, I really avoided soap operas for like decades, and then I pretty much left the business to go have my kids and bring them up, and I really hadn't thought too much about it. And just about a year ago, during COVID, well, I guess we're still in COVID, but kind of feels like we're sort of out of it in a way, but I just,
hired a manager, and so I started to see the projects that were coming. And he said, there's this role of playing an LA realtor, and I laughed because, of course, I'm a full-fledged realtor selling houses and all the time, and as well as doing commercials and some other projects. But I really hadn't thought about it, and I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. And I had such fun on the set. It was really, I don't know. I kind of, when I got on the set, first of all, I thought it was really funny that I was playing an LA realtor. And, I know Peter Bergman. We've never acted together, but somehow, I don't know. I think it was just that we were both on soaps, but at a certain point early on, before he was on All My Children, which I believe was his first soap opera, he was a bartender at a bar, I don't remember the name of it, at a restaurant, a nice restaurant on the Upper East Side when I was like 18. I had left the soap opera, and I had run away from home, even though I was 18. That's ridiculous. Those two phrases don't go together. My parents did not want me to move into the city, even though I was 18. So I moved anyway. But I did kind of have to run away from home. So anyway, I just thought, well, to appease my parents, I'll move into a Catholic residence hall. Even though I'm not Catholic per se, I was brought up Presbyterian, and really I'm more spiritual than anything. I'm not really any of those. But I thought, it'll make my parents feel a little secure about this if I move into an all-girls Catholic residence hall. So that's what I did. For some reason, that didn't help my parents calm down about it. But at any rate, my roommate, I thought, I'll be in a double because, I'll save money. What the heck? It wasn't that I needed money, but I also didn't want to spend it needlessly. And also, why not have a roommate? So it kind of sounded fun. So they ended up rooming me with someone who had met Peter Bergman because she was out, at a bar, and came home and said, I've met the most gorgeous guy, he bartends, and I'm like, oh, later I find out it's Peter Bergman. And then way later after that, or not, I don't think that much later, actually, she then gets on All My Children. So anyway, somehow we know each other. Anyway, Peter Bergman, of course, is one of the main stars of Young and the Restless at this point, and been on there for forever. And so I ended up, I guess he gave them permission that when I was shooting, I was in his dressing room, which was really nice. And everyone on the set was super, super nice, from the makeup people. I loved my director, this guy named Michael Ellebaum, Ellebaum, I think it is. Yeah. I should know by heart, but he was fantastic. They flew him out from New York, and I guess they do that on a regular basis, which is kind of cool. But I had so much fun, and after I'd done my first scene, I was kind of waiting for the next. I was sitting on the set, and I sort of had this kind of full body sort of reaction, like I kind of had this buzz go through my body. I was like, what? I was like, I'm looking around, I'm looking at these cameras that are somewhat similar. They're not as huge and clunky as the old cameras on One Life to Live way back in the early days. Right. But also very similar at the same time. And the set, it's just a certain vibe of being on a soap opera set is completely different from any other situation in television or film. And obviously the amount of material we do, but even just the sets and the cameras, and it's 3-camera. I mean, I've done sitcoms, and been on 3-camera with an audience, but there was something about it, I got my whole body was had this flush feeling. I was like, wow, what is going on with me? But it was really, really fun. So now I'm like, well, and then the publicist came up to me afterwards, after I finished my last scene, and he's like, I know who you are. Would you consider doing, Soap Opera Digest and the Michael Fairbanks TV thing? And I'm like, sure, yeah, of course, why not? Thank you. So then this whole buzz started happening. So I'm sure there's going to be some more daytime, probably, coming down the pike. It was such
such a rush. It's also such a rush to be able to, do it when you there's just a rush in that you're able to finish your scenes and do a decent job out of them, in that sort of time frame. But it's really, really fast. But so anyway, it was tremendous. It just came, it just fell into my lap, and I guess maybe it's the start of something. I mean, my gosh, soap opera actors, boy, we work for that money. That's some hard stuff, but it is also like really a rush, and that's kind of what I remembered. I was like, wow, I can't believe that I did this for so many years, and very happily left it back in the day, very happily, as I said in those articles. Like because of the person they had me working with, who just was at the end of his career and really could have cared less, so it just wasn't fun. But I had never planned to stay like for forever, ever. I never thought of myself that way. I just never thought I would. So now, though, it's kind of fun to go back and revisit that, and I'm open to see what happens. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. I'm open. So.
I'm so happy for you. And
thank you.
Are you gonna go back to doing the Comic-Cons again?
Yeah. Let's see. I think we spoke. The only one I did during all of this crazy COVID stuff was 80s in the Stand, which isn't a Comic-Con per se, and I was sort of happy that it wasn't, because I really wasn't that comfortable. But yeah, sure. I love doing those, especially when I get to see my Revenge of the Nerds cast. Is really, so
yeah.
That would be.
Yeah, you know who I'm working on getting on here? The girl that takes Lewis's virginity.
With a dark brown hair, or kind of almost black hair.
Yeah.
Oh, how fun! I've got to watch. Remind me of her name. She was really good.
Her name was Sean Sequeiros.
Oh, and is she still acting, or?
No, okay, so she remained local in Arizona, and she went into the nursing field, and yeah, she's like one of the heads of this hospital over in Arizona, and so yeah, it's amazing how
in Arizona, because no, you don't yet. Can you send me her name when you get a chance, so maybe I can friend her and then message her.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah, I'll send you. I'll send you. I'll message you the link to her profile. Yeah.
I'll help her feel confident to go on your show, which I'm sure she is. But in case she's hesitant, tell her what a good guy. You never tell dirty jokes.
I got a couple for you.
Oh, God. Okay. All right. It's about time for you to, all right, lay them on me. Let's hear.
Okay. What do you call a lady that doesn't squirt?
Oh, God. I don't know. What?
An underachiever.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. You are you so go for, like, the absolute, most risque or whatever. I don't even know what to call that.
The most body.
Luckily, I know what that means.
Yeah.
Some people wouldn't.
I know some people, it takes them about a second to get it, but it's the most body I go for.
Oh, my God.
And,
well,
what do you call a boy that doesn't masturbate?
A girl? I don't know. What?
Everybody guesses that. No, a liar.
That's funny. That's good. I like that one.
Yeah.
well, I like that one. Well, listen, keep in touch with me and let me know how everything's going. And please send me
yes.
our actress head of the hospital contact info.
I will.
So I can reach out. That would be fun. That would be fun.
I will. That'll be
good.
That'll be great. I've brought so many people together, Julia, so absolutely I will.
That sounds good. That sounds good. Well, thanks, Tommy. I'm glad we got to connect today.
Yes, thank you for being such a wonderful friend and guest and supporting me over the years. And I'll let you know when I make an LA trip in the future. And stay safe and rock it on The Young and the Restless.
Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.